Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No. Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
I'm not okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes,
I don't like that.
You're 100% right.
Daily Blast Live starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, Jimmy Smits. We have an all-new interview with him coming up in just a minute. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 26th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Tori, Brandon, and I am Sam. Stephanie Jones is on vacation. Let's get started. Well, we begin with a serious story. A shocking image of a father and daughter face down in the Rio Grande is sparking outrage right now. This image is too graphic to show here, but officials say the Salvadorian man and his nearly 2-year-old daughter, who you see here, drowned in the river on Sunday after being swept away by the current. This follows recent news about horrific conditions at migrant detention facilities, as reported by doctors and lawyers visiting the sites, including kids sleeping on concrete floors with the lights on 24 hours a day, with no access to soap or basic hygiene, and claims of torture. Many expect the immigration issue will take center stage tonight at the first Democratic debate in Miami. It is a 2-day event that will give 20 candidates a chance to speak out on the crisis, but it does have us asking, do you think, Tori, that this humanitarian crisis will be the central issue going into 2020? I hope so.
I hope so, too. I wasn't sure until today, and I unrolled my New York Times, and it comes like this, just so you guys know. And when I unrolled it, I visibly gasped in the morning meeting. They have the photograph on, and if you want to look at it, I say look at it. It's important to not run away from this. It is a dead child on the cover of the New York Times, and that's really hard to do, and they don't often do that. The reason I say that I think it will because of this photo, photographs like this one, if you guys remember the migrant little girl when she was being torn away from her mom, do you remember this?
Yep.
That sparks things faster than anybody. It's the seeing her crying, seeing her waiting, seeing how small she is next to the wheel of that tire. This picture has the little baby's arm around the father. That will spark more debate. So if you keep this in social media and we keep showing these images, I think it will have to take center stage.
And Tori, I have a question for you, since you are our legal insider, and Sam, please jump in. Since these pictures, these images are going to spark that outrage, what do you think tonight that these potential these presidential candidates, what are the type of things that they should say to kind of put us at ease when we talk about our immigration problem in America?
I'm so sick of Democrats and Republicans. I really am. And I do agree that it should take center stage. I'm sick of the infighting. I'm sick of going on Facebook and people writing me saying, Democrats this, Republicans this, Obama did this, Trump's doing this. The fact of the matter is, they've all failed us. They've all failed these migrant children. So what I want to see is I want to see more attention called to places like Together Rising. You can go check out Together Rising. This is a nonprofit that's actually advocating for these children. They're making sure that they get counseling. They're making sure that they get attorneys. They're making sure that they get care. And it's doing it in a bipartisan fashion. And what I pray is I pray that I see Republicans and Democrats come together and solve this together so they can look back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years and be proud of themselves for doing the humane thing. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm sick and tired of it. I really, really am.
Yeah.
I think the main weapon here is get those cameras in there and get those photographs out.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's start holding these shelters accountable.
The for-profit
because
shelters.
They are a billion-dollar industry.
Yes.
The employees sign non-disclosure agreements because they know that if those images get out, that they will be asked to be held accountable. These are human beings. These aren't animals. And these young children are being treated worse than dogs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I believe in our Republicans. I believe in our Democrats. I just want you guys to put your ego aside, put your political affiliations aside, and come together. All right, let's move on to this next story. The U.S. women's soccer team may be winning at the World Cup, but co-captain Megan Rapinoe is making headlines for a completely different reason. The vocal critic of the president had a very blunt response when asked if she would visit the White House. Watch.
I'm not going to the White House. No, I'm not going to the White House. We're not going to be invited.
You're not going to be invited?
I doubt it.
Well, the president is striking back right now, tweeting the soccer star should focus on winning first. He also said he'd invite the team, win or lose, to the White House, adding, quote, Meghan should never disrespect our country, the White House, or our flag, especially since so much has been done for her and the team. Be proud of the flag that you wear. The USA is doing great.
What about her gay flag? What about her gay pride? What about that he's sort of tormented on? I'm not going off on a Trump thing here, but she has said, I'm gay, I'm out, I kneel at the Star-Spangled Banner. I don't think we've been treated fairly. She says, I'm a walking protest. So yeah, she's always going to be that prickly. Do I think she should have been prepped for a moment where she's going to get a question? Yes. Do I think she should have used the F word? No. You aren't as effective as a leader or speaker if you go that low.
I agree.
So had she simply said transgender ban in the militia or the way people are treated.
In the military.
In the military, yeah.
Yep.
Not media, excuse me. That, to me, would have been much more effective than I'm not going to the effing White House.
Yeah, because then you have a message that gets across and people are listening.
Right.
Forget what she said. What she's doing is the message. So we're so caught up in just because she used the F word. You see who she's fighting or you see who she's going up against? That rhetoric, the things that he says when he attacks or goes after the people who comes at him, she's just showing strength. Because at the end of the day, we can hate what she said by using the F word, but then when we go and we Google her works, what she's done for the LGBT, that speaks
and I
for
agree
itself.
with you, Brandon, but I hate that we're talking about her using the F word, which most media outlets are doing.
Diversion tactics.
But you got to be smarter than the media. You got to be smarter than sensational headlines and clickbait. You got to be smarter with your platform. I'm sorry, because she has such an influential platform, and I do not blame her for her anger at all. But because she has a platform, she has to outsmart the media and those clickbait headlines and the president of the United States and make sure that she uses her platform for good and educates the masses. That's my opinion.
I agree, Sam, but talk is cheap. I don't care if someone goes up there and they sit up there and hi,
her actions
and they're
speak
like,
loudly.
her actions are
Most
beyond loudly.
people will not know that.
They want to just take that little bit. So
I know.
Words might be, talk might be cheap, but people notice words and people will tune off.
I notice actions.
That's good for you. You're a rare one, let me tell you then. All right, let's switch gears here. A-Rod is getting called out online for what he had to say in an interview with Sports Illustrated. The former MLB star told the publication that while sitting with Kylie Jenner at the Met Gala, all she talked about was her Instagram, her lipstick, and how rich she is. But now Kylie says that's not true. She tweeted, quote, no, I didn't. We only spoke about Game of Thrones. And now A-Rod has responded saying, OMG, that's right, Kylie Jenner. It was me talking about you and your makeup line and how much my girls love you. Hashtag GOT, hashtag respect, hashtag all love.
Okay, so I had a little research here. J-Lo is very close with the Kardashians, so I think he's trying to backpedal. It looks a little sad.
He's not going to get invited to dinner?
No, I don't think so. But if you read the whole article, it is a mess from the start. He says, we had a great table. We had a black guy from The Wire, you mean Idris Elba. We had the Asian guy from Rich Asians, Henry Golding.
Jeez.
We had a singer, Versace, Donatella something.
Wow.
I mean, how clueless do you sound?
Yeah.
You're a pop culture icon, and you're going to be invited to these things. You don't just say the black guy from The Wire.
Yeah, and if you're going to talk about your conversation with Kylie Jenner, you better really say what happened, because that's totally defamation to her character. I don't blame her one bit for sticking up for herself, so good on her.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm going to slightly stick up for A-Rod here, being the athlete and being in our morning meetings when you guys are talking about all these celebrities, and I'm like, oh yeah, Barbara Streisand, the lady from Meet the Fockers.
But you also don't miss. I know, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You mean Barbara Streisand, the incredible Oscar winner, Grammy winner, all of the above, Tony winner. However, Brandon, you don't misconstrue what people say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially in print.
In an article, and you know, Momager is going to read that article.
And Momager should.
You see him back that up.
Yeah, he backed that up.
Back that thing up.
Yep.
Backing up. Like the truck?
We got it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like the truck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sound effects.
All right, do you think you're angrier than your parents? Well, a new poll says that Americans are angrier today than they were a generation ago. Nearly 84% of people surveyed said that was the case in the NPR and IBM Watson Health poll. But there's good news for older people aged 60 65 and up who are apparently less likely to say they are often angry. So do you think we're angrier, or do you think the culture ahead of us, the generation ahead of us, because of their culture, didn't speak up as much?
No, I think if you go back, I think this poll, I think maybe we're looking at angry the wrong way. You go back to 1968, a lot of our viewers were alive in 1968.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. That same year, Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated. That same year, the Democratic Chicago conventions, riots on the street. That's anger. Vietnam War protests. That's anger. Being drafted, sending your sons out and daughters. So yeah, we're angry. We have what we call outrage porn.
Yeah.
And that's a different level of anger.
And
it's quick to angry, but it's not deep.
And I think our anger is lazy now.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
because back then, and
Yes.
just because back then they didn't have computers, they didn't have social media. Now our outrage is someone sitting behind a desk
right.
going, we need to do
It's an
this, we
activist
need to do
thing.
that, that sort of thing. So it's just digital anger.
It's a different
That's
way
what I
of
like to
looking at
call it.
anger. I guess.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I also think that we are a lot more quick to divulge our feelings
Yeah.
as opposed to maybe some of the older generations
That's
that just
true.
kind of like
Yeah.
buck it up, dust their shoulders off, and keep moving.
Yeah.
So I think if we could kind of have a hybrid of the two, that would
Yeah.
be
Let's all just chill
perfect.
out. Yeah.
Well, DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, our girl, Steph Jones, sits down with veteran TV actor Jimmy Smits for the first time, and they put their accents on the line. Listen.
Por favor, de un olor.
I'm bloody knackered, Jimmy.
What's sexier, British, English, or Spanish? You decide. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. What would you do if you caught your friend's significant other with someone else? Oprah and Gayle King have some advice. We're going to share your comments coming up next.
Hi, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. Please send us in your comments about that fifth host. I think it's a really good one. We want to know what you would do if you were in that position. I would definitely tell my friend, even if it ended our friendship. Anyway, let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Hey guys, what's happening up here? You all look great today.
Thank you.
I didn't know if you guys got it.
That was funny.
on the nose.
Get it?
Back it up.
Back it up. So I have my cup of coffee every day here, and Al always puts paperclip or dental floss or his finger, and he's not on the first two shows, and literally came in from the makeup room, still getting makeup on air came while we went to a VO, dipped his finger in my coffee and ran away.
He's done more. He's also put, okay, so he dipped his finger in your coffee, but I've
put
also
my
seen
shoe
Al.
up there.
Yeah, but what else has he put in your coffee?
Oh,
He's
dental
put
floss,
Dental floss
paper
in your
clips.
coffee. Although you gave him a line last night. We all went out for drinks last night, the host. Tori put her chewing gum in a lime and without even knowing said, here, Al, do you need a lime? So Al starts to use it and like old gooey gum comes out.
Okay, let me explain. I got Al a drink before he got there, and I know he
Which
loves
was really
limes,
nice
which
of
was
you.
nice,
Which
right?
was really
And I
nice
knew
of
he likes limes, but I forgot to get the lime, so I thought, oh, Al, have my lime. And then he was like, just a quick thing, Tori's. I forgot.
She
I
did.
put
You could tell she totally forgot. But karma, considering he puts everything and anything in her cup.
That's true.
That's
It's straight up karma
at its finest.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, Al Jackson.
That's true.
What
That's
does
true.
your Buddhist books
Buddhist tea
say
about that kind of thing?
Yes.
That's-
Gum and then lemons.
Gum and limes?
Yeah, that one too.
Gum and limes. Actually, you want to know something really cool? I just was on the topic and I told this, I don't know if I told you this before, the difference between, very quickly, water logic and rock logic.
Oh.
So rock logic, what everybody wants in life is to make a hard right turn here, get married here, have kids here, have this money by here. In life, in actuality, you will never experience rock logic,
need to be fluid.
ever. So you'll experience water logic, but the more you want rock logic, the more you'll suffer. And the more you accept water logic, you'll suffer better.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. OG BFFs Oprah and Gayle shared some friendly advice on the topic of cheating with an O Magazine reader. She wanted advice after running into her friend's boyfriend at happy hour with another woman. Yep. Here's what Oprah and Gayle had to say.
I would say something to him.
Would you?
Yes, I would. I would go to him and I would say, look, I'm going to give you 24 hours, and if you don't tell her, I'm going to. But I would go and say something to him first.
I would definitely say something to you.
And not to him?
I wouldn't say anything to him. I'd go to you and I'd say, I saw him.
Ooh, So DBL Nation, what would you do if you suspected your friend is being cheated on? Let's get right to your comments. Deborah from Facebook says, I would immediately pick up the phone and tell my friend clearly their partner isn't planning on it. Ooh, listen, I've been in this situation where I did tell my friend, and what I would have done differently in the past, because it ended up costing my friendship, because then all of a sudden, if they do end up getting back together, which they did, then you're kind of like the odd person out for breaking them up.
Yeah.
I would have just made it known to them that I'm not going to judge you. I just want you to know what's going on because you're my homegirl. But whatever you guys decide to do, I'll support.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good way of balancing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Henrietta from Facebook says, if I caught him out in public, I would walk right up to him and tell him to call my friend and explain himself. Geez, Henrietta, what if they're just co-workers, you know? But I like Gail's approach, saying that you go up to the person after they finish that date or as you're casually like leaving or something. You want to make it so that person sees you and you want to give that person maybe a day or two. I wouldn't say, hey, 24 hours to tell you, my friend, what you're doing, but, you know, give it a couple days and then go up to that friend and say something if you have to.
So you're a Gail King fan. I like it.
OG BFFs.
Oh, I love them so much.
They are.
They are the best.
Yep.
Georgia from Facebook says, this did happen to me one time, and I didn't know what to do, so I stayed out of it. I don't regret that decision. Sam brings up such a good point. You have to maybe sacrifice a friendship if you do voice your opinion. I would take Gail's approach, too. You also don't know if it's an open relationship. Things are very fluid these days. So go up to the guy and say, hey, who was that? It was weird. Just get some info and let them know you know. You know what I mean?
Good point. Yep. And Bertha from Facebook says, I would definitely try to convince him to tell my friend the truth, but I wouldn't go over his head and tell her. I mean, I do like the idea of empowering him to do the right thing, even if that means like you're kind of forcing him to, because I think it's better that she hear it from him rather than you. But it's a tough one. It really is.
It's an age-old problem.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
All right, Nance from Facebook says, that's a tough question. It depends on if they're married or not. Yeah, I definitely agree with that one, because if it's a situation, Sam, where you know there's a friend that you could go up to that person and tell her, hey, your husband's spouse is doing this, and that person doesn't care, then yeah, stay out of it, because obviously she doesn't care, or he doesn't care as well. Let's make sure this is gender fluid.
I like that. I appreciate that. I do.
That's true.
We're going to shift gears here to some sad news. We are learning reality TV star Beth Chapman has passed away. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
Dog the Bounty Hunter star Beth Chapman died this morning at a hospital in Hawaii. Earlier this week, she had been placed in a medically induced coma after a long battle with throat cancer. Now, Beth rose to fame alongside her husband, Dwayne Dog Chapman, as a bounty hunter on their reality show. Dog confirmed her passing, saying, today she hiked the stairway to heaven. We love you, Beth. See you on the other side. Now, the couple had been filming a new show, and it's unclear if it will still air. Beth was 51 years old.
Oh, very sad news. Thank you, Raquel. Our thoughts and prayers to that family. I'm sure they're going to need them now more than ever. Yeah. Coming up on DBL, longtime TV actor Jimmy Smits chats with our own Stephanie Jones. They'll play a fun game involving their accents coming up next.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here, and I have your review of Toy Story 4. So to start off with, it's a Pixar movie, so you're going to cry. Bring some tissues, don't be like me and be awkwardly like kind of using your sleeves and trying to hide. It's a sad movie, it's heartbreaking, and I want you to know that up front, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful and funny. There's that sense of nostalgia with Woody and Buzz Lightyear and all the characters you've gotten to know, but there are some new fun characters. I gotta give a shout out to Keanu Reeves for his Evel Knievel inspired guy, Duke Kaboom, and Forky, which I never knew I could fall in love with a spork, but I have. I'm never gonna eat a salad the same after this. Anyway, the plot is fun. and it's an adventure, and your kids will enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. If you've seen the other Toy Stories, you'll have some Easter eggs to look forward to. And overall, it's a fun time, but again, it is very sad. It does deal with some tough subjects, but in the end, I think you're gonna leave the movie satisfied. Right now, it has a 99% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which makes it near perfect. I kind of agree with it. There are points where it was like a little slower than I'd like it to be. So, do you want to see it in theaters or do you want to wait to watch it at home? I actually am indifferent. It's going to be enjoyable either way. If you're a big fan of the Toy Story franchise, definitely go check it out now.
Welcome back to DBL. For the past 30 years, Jimmy Smits has been entertaining audiences on TV, in movies, and on stage. Well, he returns to primetime in Bluff City Law. And our own Stephanie Jones, I'm so jealous, got to sit down with the actor to talk about the new legal drama and much more at Denver's Series Fest. That's in today's Chatting with the Stars.
All right, Jimmy, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. Good to be here with you.
I'm going to talk to you about something not so nice, about the fact that you're always getting killed off in everything, love.
Do you think that?
Oh, Miami Vice, you died in the pilot.
Yes.
NYPD, your character was killed off.
True.
Star Wars, What was your favorite death?
I actually like the Miami Vice going out because just before the character got blown up, Thomas said, why don't you turn around and smile at Crockett, who's Don Johnson's character, like not a care in the world. And he was so right on with that particular moment.
And in that moment, it was all over.
Boom.
It was off. All right, talk about Buff City Law, your new show. So in it, you play a prominent lawyer who teams up with his estranged daughter to change the world.
Change the world.
Change the world. That's a pretty big statement, right? How are you going to change the world in this series? Tell me.
You know, the law, the whole area of the law is something that's very aspirational in a lot of ways.
Everyone likes to talk about how this kind of work is rewarding, but if you lose, it destroys you.
It deals with subjects that talk about what the best of our society could possibly be, and the people who champion causes.
Yeah.
It is a father and daughter story at its center.
We're total opposites. You're conservative, I wage war.
Our differences could be our strength.
You can't just silence the truth.
Judicial court for review. That was brilliant in there.
Right, so Spanish is meant to be the language itself. It's very nice, it's very romantic, it's very poetic, isn't it?
That's
you
what
can
you're
tell
saying.
I've got a bit of a gripe against this because the Queen's English, in my opinion, sounds much better.
Does it?
So I want to find out once and for all.
Once and for all.
Which one is the most romantic or sexy language? How would you say, smell this dirty t-shirt?
Por favor, de un olor a esa camisilla.
Okay, you're definitely winning. Go on, hit me while I just calm myself down from that.
I'm very tired, please leave me alone.
I'm bloody knackered. Will you bugger off?
Say it again.
I'm bloody knackered. Will
Knackered.
You... Knackered. I'm knackered, darling. I'm ready for a nap. Will you bugger off?
I really like that. I'm bloody knackered.
I'm bloody knackered, Jimmy. I'm in need of a kip, lad. Okay, right. Are you ready? Oh, now I want you to tell me how you'd say this.
Okay.
Dennis France's butt was the best part of NYPD Blue.
La arquitectura del cuerpo del posterior de Dennis France es una maravilla.
I appreciate the movement as
The
well.
movement.
That made it. That made it. Jimmy, you've been absolutely amazing.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy Denver.
Thank you, love. And
Be
you
nice
too.
to her.
Oh, we will. She's too adorable. We'll be right back.
Promotional consider. Colorado after being up pretty much all night on Monday. So I'm here, I'm present, and I'm excited to be back. And if you guys have any questions for me about like any of the rocket launches or any info about NASA, just let me know. But right now I'm going to bring you a story right now that is breaking, and it's about Cuba Gooding Jr.'s lawyers are asking him to drop the case because they said it has put his life on hold, and they asked for the case to be dismissed. Now, this is when he was accused of sexually assaulting, actually groping a woman at a bar in New York. Well, the judge said he can't do anything yet until he hears from the prosecution, and that's going to happen on August 14th, and that's his next court date. And from there, we'll see if the case is dropped or if it'll move forward. And I will see you bringing you breaking news next break. See ya.
Welcome back to DBL. A new sport may be headed to the Olympics. Breakdancing is another step closer to making its Olympic debut in Paris in 2024. The IOC committee voted in favor of including it in the Summer Games. Breakdancing may join other new Olympic sports like climbing, skateboarding, and surfing. And coming from a swimmer who loves the IOC and the Olympics, and I know swimming is a very classic sport along with track and field and many others, I think it is time. Every single one of those sports that were named deserve it.
Absolutely. And then for the people who have a problem with breakdancing, race walking is an Olympic sport. Rhythmic gymnastics, trampoline, and canoeing are sports as well. So, but breakdancing is something is accepted globally. It's a culture that's been embraced from Harlem, New York, all the way to Japan.
And talk about a skill set.
Breaking news, breakdancing, the Olympics.
We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Kelly Schubert with the DBL digital team here. It's a little loud in here right now, so hopefully you can hear me. Hey.
Okay, I'll ask the other ladies if I have a hard time. Okay.
I love you so much, but shh. I hate having to shush people. I feel like a teacher. Did you ever have to like go through the hallways and put your hands up like this and that and then be quiet? Travis is shaking his head yes, so I appreciate that, Travis. I've got a trending story for you right now. Kim Kardashian is getting some backlash because she just released a new shapewear line called Kimono. A lot of people are saying this is disrespectful to the Japanese community, the Japanese culture, because they use kimonos and it's been part of their culture for hundreds of years. So DBL Nation, I want to know what you think about this. Do you think she missed the mark on this one? Obviously, kimono is a play on her name, Kim, but the hashtag Kim Oh No was trending, like, oh no, like this is bad, was trending because of that backlash. So DBL Nation, I want to know what you think. Are people being too PC about this, or is it actually offensive to Japanese culture that she named her shapewear line kimono, which is something the Japanese culture wears? Let me know what you think. Please write me in and give me your DBL take. We've got a great show coming up. Bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 26th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al, and I am Sam. Let's get started. Well, we do begin with some heartbreaking and serious images. This image that we're actually not going to show, so let me take that back. Well, there is a shocking image of a father and a daughter face down in the Rio Grande, and it is sparking outrage right now, rightfully so. The image we decided is too graphic to show here, but officials say the Salvadorian man and his nearly 2-year-old daughter, who you see here, drowned in the river on Sunday after being swept away by the current. This follows recent news about horrific conditions at migrant detention facilities, as reported by doctors and lawyers visiting the sites, including kids sleeping on concrete floors with the lights on 24 hours a day, with no access to soap or basic hygiene, and claims of torture. Many expect the immigration issue will take center stage tonight at the first Democratic debate in Miami. It's a 2-day event that will give 20 candidates a chance to speak out on the crisis, but it has many of you asking whether or not this humanitarian crisis will be a defining issue in this next election. Do you think, Al, that it will take center stage?
I think in the Democratic debate it will, but I don't know on a national level. I don't know if this affects people enough to care. I think that this is something that they watch on their TV. I think they'll say that's sad, but they're not following the rules. And I think this is something that, unfortunately, we're going to have to look back on our lives when we're all 90 years old and in a rocking chair and looking back on what we did. We're going to have a lot to atone for.
I hope to God you are wrong about that.
Sam,
that image that is on the New York Times right now, and I hope every single person takes a second to look at it, because by shutting your eyes to it does not make it go away. That image of a father and a daughter washed up to the shore, the daughter still holding on to her father, will haunt me. And I know it haunts Republicans. I know it haunts Democrats. I'm so sick of this, and I know you and I are on the same page, Jeff. We're so sick of this being Republican, Democrat, Obama, Trump, who's responsible, who's not, when in reality they all failed. They all failed these children. So when are we just going to buck up and be humane and stop thinking about political affiliation and do the damn right thing?
It's hard. Nobody, like Al said, nobody cares. You see this picture. If you don't have compassion when you see this picture, you're not a human being. Right. Of course you're going to have compassion when you see this picture.
I think people care. I think people care.
I think people don't care.
People are blinded.
And I think people just want to blame our government. They want to blame who's in our office right now for what's going on down there. That's fine. This has been going on for plenty of offices.
You're right about that.
So I don't want to make this like a Trump thing. I hate piling on every day. I honest to God, I hate starting my day with this negativity all the time. The people in charge of these countries that they're coming from, they're begging their people, let's work on this together. Please don't do that. Please don't bring families across.
But how hard do you think it must be for that mom and dad to say, okay, my daughter's either going to face gang violence and rape and whatever she might have to face, or she's going to have to face this crazy excursion. They got to weigh out that risk and reward. I can't imagine as a parent what that must be like.
What if I told you right now I have the problem? I have the answer to solve this problem. let's take money from our school teachers. Let's take money, the funding that's going into our school systems. Let's give it to these children so they can have a proper American education. Let's do that. We're going to take some of that money that's already low level.
That's ridiculous.
Why is there?
Because there's so many other avenues to go about this than
because there's no answer, Sam. There's no answer.
Well, we can hold these detention centers accountable. They are for profit. They're billion-dollar industries. We can say stop it with your non-disclosure agreements that you make every single one of your employees sign so you can keep everything hidden. We can start to hold them accountable. So go to places like Together Rising. Together Rising is an organization, a nonprofit that is holding them accountable. Erica, I'm so sorry. Please chime in.
No, I think that we're missing a fundamental issue, that we're very selective with our empathy and we're very selective with our resources. We're living in a country that if someone came to your front door and slid and fell and broke their ankle, you would be responsible for that, even though you never even invited them there. So it's interesting how that's a selective application for who is responsible. But we're also selective with our empathy. How are we supposed to care about someone else when we don't care about ourselves? So I think that's where the problem comes in. What the solution is, I do believe, and I wholeheartedly feel like someone is going to bring something to the table. And by having photos like this that are absolutely, people are like, oh, they're trying to outrage us. Of course, because we should be outraged. So by having a photo like that in the New York Times, it forces a conversation. And once we have that conversation, then someone has to come to the forefront. And I really do hope that it's a bipartisan situation.
I do. I pray. And I really do believe it will be. I believe that Democrats and Republicans will come together as well as the American people, and they'll make this right. I really believe that in my hearts of hearts. All right, let's get to this next story. The U.S. women's soccer team may be winning at the World Cup, but co-captain Megan Rapinoe is making headlines for a completely different reason. The vocal critic of the president had a very blunt response when asked if she would visit the White House. Watch.
I'm not going to the White House.
The president is striking back right now, tweeting the soccer star should focus on winning first. He also said he'd invite the team, win or lose, to the White House, adding, quote, Megan should never disrespect our country, the White House, or our flag, especially since so much has been done for her and the team. Be proud of the flag that you wear. The USA is doing great. What would you say to that, Al?
I would say you can't tell somebody how to feel. And we have to always remember, whenever we're having any conversation like this, that the beautiful thing about this country is you have the freedom to choose how you worship, how you respect this country, or how you show that. And if she is not liking what the direction of this country is, it is her right. It is her God-given right under the laws of this country to protest the way she wants. I mean, unless we're going to start forcing people to do things, and we're not going to do that. So she's allowed to do this. Half people are going to love it. Half people are going to hate it. That's why we keep coming back and having the same conversation about a different subject. It's like we're in a bad marriage where we had a fight 10 years ago that we never got over. But so now every fight that we have, whether it's like, should we go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, it's really about that fight 10 years ago. But we keep fighting about little things, but it's really about the same thing. This country is divided. It just is.
I just think it's interesting. Anytime I react to someone, and it's a very visceral reaction based on how they're coming at me, it's generally a reflection of how I came at them.
Right.
So anytime you have a conversation like that and he's saying you need to focus on winning first, I would like for the president not to focus on what a soccer star is saying, but maybe the last issue that we talked about in terms of immigration and migrant camps. But the reaction is exactly how he serves things. So it's not shocking that people come at him that way.
Well, I don't blame her for having her anger, but I do think that she could have delivered her message in a much, I think with that type of a platform, you want to get as many people to hear you as possible. And again, not to diminish anything that the LGBTQ community must feel under this administration and being oppressed, but if you want to attract more ears, you got to deliver a message that's not going to immediately make people not want to listen to you. So
I don't agree with that, Sam.
I don't think she's going to attract any new person.
But
anybody that thinks differently from her is not going to listen to her message.
Maybe
Mark my word.
Maybe that's not her point.
And that's okay.
Because not every advocate is trying to get everyone. In fact, most people who are very effective are trying to get one person. Because when you get a very focused thing, then you're bringing everybody who needs to hear it. Not necessarily wants to hear it, but needs to.
I think I just am sick of the divisiveness. I don't blame her at all for feeling the way she feels, but it's just, you're just continuing to stoke the fire.
Right.
And I'm sick of it.
I am too. I'm
sick of it.
I really am. And I mean, we started our first 2 stories off pretty negatively. There is never in history of anything that when something's negative, we know who I'm talking about, our president, that's fine. And you respond with that with negativity. That's never going to win any argument ever. And that's where we are. Our whole internet, everything that's based today is negativity fighting negativity. And we're not going to win anything like that.
I agree with you.
If she went to the White House, and I'm not putting anybody down, whatever your religion, whatever, all of it, put that all together. If you handle that with class and you show up to that White House all dressed in your rainbow flag jersey and you don't say one word, that speaks 10 million words to me. That shows me that you're fighting that with classiness and not negativity. We are not going to win any arguments ever fighting anything with negativity. So I get that you could say whatever you want to say, and that's fine. Al, you mentioned that earlier. But there is no future for our country if that's
Jeff,
the way it
I think one thing, and I know we got to move on, but I got to make this point. We've talked a lot, and we talked off the air yesterday about social media. And let's be honest, a lot of people are informed by social media. The way the algorithms work in social media is the loudest, angriest voices get the most attention. So people like Jeff, that is like, hey, everybody, have a positive day. Here's a YouTube clip of this motivational speaker. That is not, like, literally going to be picked up in the algorithm and go out to as many people as if you say, I think all insert people here should die, or all these people are terrorists. That is going to go out. That will get the retweets. Because
but we're not talking about her message. We're talking about her saying the F word, and that bums me out because I know I've
But
seen
I'm saying,
her
ironically, that's going to get the most views than her saying, well, we'll decide after we win the tournament. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Or no, I'm not going to go to the White House until you rescind the ban on trans
just the way you said that will not get as much traction on the internet, and that's exactly what. That's the way it's set up.
We gotta go. We gotta go. We can continue the conversation during the break. DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, a bride's wedding goes viral because she is more than 30 bridesmaids. But why so many? Then veteran TV actor Christopher Meloni joins the cast of the hit Hulu show The Handmaid's Tale. Find out what really goes on behind the scenes. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. What would you do if you caught your friend's significant other with someone else? Oprah and Gayle King have some advice, and we share your comments coming up next.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert here. Welcome to the show. It sounded like the host wanted to continue this conversation, so let's go to the desk. Hey guys, did you want to keep talking about this?
Sure.
Yeah. You guys were all making a lot of good points.
Well, it's hard to, you know what I mean? It's an 8-minute segment. It's hard for everyone to talk for 30 seconds and try to get everything you want to say out in 30 seconds. And you're talking about 2 totally different stories. So that gives you 15 seconds to say what you want to say without someone taking that and running with labeling you under a certain category of how you think. When you're trying to take the other side of things or trying to see things from the other side and you have 15 seconds to explain yourself, it's very easy for someone out there to categorize you as this. And what we're doing in our government, what we're doing on social media is categorizing people. Either you're here or you're here. There's no in between thinking, you're like, oh, I see his side. It's one person's side or the other. So I get fired up that we have no time to talk about things like this, that we have to talk about things like this. So kind of gets me fired up.
It's frustrating, but like it's where we are. We are in the world, and we will forever, because of the internet, be in the world of labels. You are not Jeff Schroeder to the internet. You are a person of a certain ethnicity, a person of a certain age. You have a certain income. You have a certain number of children. You're either heterosexual or you're not, or you're undefined, and they market things towards you. You, I think, are a lot like a lot of people where you're just like, I want to make some money, take care of my family, and live a good life and be the best person I can. I think a lot of people are like that. But the negativity that you see, the negativity that is constantly put in your face, it's gonna be always there, because that's how you identify people, and that's what gets the most traction.
Right.
That's all that matters. They don't care. They're figuring out how to market things towards you. And if you looked at your Yahoo feed as opposed to mine, if you looked at my just general news feed, it'd be different from yours, because there are things that are marketed and put in your face. Your YouTube feed is different than mine. How did that happen?
It's the algorithm.
It's the algorithm. So I'm telling you.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. OG BFFs Oprah and Gayle King shared some great friendly advice on cheating with an O magazine reader. The reader wanted advice after running into her friend's boyfriend at happy hour with another woman. Here's what Oprah and Gayle had to say.
I would say something to him.
Would you?
Yes, I would. I would go to him and I would say, look, I'm going to give you 24 hours, and if you don't tell her, I'm going to. But I would go and say something to him first.
I would definitely say something to you.
And not to him?
I wouldn't say anything to him. I'd go to you and I'd say, I saw him.
So, DBL Nation, what would you do if you suspected your friend is being cheated on? Al, get right to their comments.
Man, all right, Sam. Mel from Facebook says, how about go up to the woman and introduce yourself? Get as much info as you can out of her. Ask her if she knows your friend. Blow up the spot, on the spot, hashtag girl code.
Yes, Mel.
Wow, I mean, Mel.
I want Mel as a friend.
Yes, I mean, that's a loyal friend. I don't know. Honestly, I wish I just kind of stay out of things like this because you don't know what arrangement people have. You can assume, but you don't know what arrangement people have, and I just stay out of people's bedrooms and out of their love lives.
Marco from YouTube says, I agree with Oprah. Just tell your friend that you ran into her man at happy hour. Unless you saw more like physical contact, what if she was a coworker? I think that's a really great point. I actually had this happen to me. I was the one who was assumed to be cheating. I was out with a gentleman friend, and a guy came up and introduced himself and interrupted our dinner. And he did it in a way that made it seem like, okay, well, I know you're married, but what he didn't know was that we were separated, and it made it very awkward. I think you mind your own business and get out of other people's bedrooms.
Danny from Facebook says, I told a friend once that I saw his boyfriend checking out a hotel, probably checking out of a hotel, right, with another man. I was surprised to find out they had an open relationship.
There you go.
That goes on what Al says. Yeah. But listen, I have had friends like this. Some people don't want to hear it. So when you tell them that, they refuse to hear it. Listen, everyone has a camera on them. Take a picture and be like, I saw them. If this isn't the person that's an open relationship, it should be a problem. If not, I'm out.
Got it.
You know?
All right. Katie from Facebook says, I hope my friends would tell me if they suspected my husband of cheating because I would do the same for them. Listen, Katie, I've been in this position, unfortunately. I notified a friend, and what happened was they ended up getting back together after they split up because of that news, and then I got ousted out as that friend. So if I would do things differently, perhaps I would still tell that individual, but I would also tell them I'm not going to judge them if they decide to stay together because I don't know what I would do if I was in that position, to be honest, especially now that I have a child.
That's super honest, Sam. And I think a lot of people, I think in a movie you go, girl, I'm walking away. But you can't always do that. Financially, sometimes you can't. You have kids. You have a relationship where you're just like, I'll give them another chance or give her another chance. You just don't know what's going on in somebody else's life. So the best thing to do is back off as hard as it may be.
Yeah, good point. Good conversation. Thanks for writing in. Coming up on DBL, Alex Rodriguez versus Kylie Jenner. We'll tell you what's fueling a new social media feud. And you know him as a detective on Law & Order SVU. But now Christopher Meloni joins the cast of The Handmaid's Tale and spills some behind-the-scenes secrets. Don't go away.
The sun used to make our outdoor patio space
You know when? Hi, DBL Nation. So I just want to give you a little backstory to this story. When I bought a car, or leased a car actually, I was really adamant about getting like little extras like all-weather mats. I want some like swag from my dealership. Like I want all of this. But this dealership is taking it to the top for their 4th of July promotion. It's called God, Guns, and Freedom, and it's a promotion that promises a Bible, a 12-gauge shotgun, and an American flag for anyone who buys a car between now and July 31st. Now, the dealership wants to point out that they're not just like rushing out and handing out shotguns. You get a certificate, because I was curious about this, and then you take it to someone certified. You go through the process. They're not just like willy-nilly handing out guns to everyone who purchases a car. So, DBL Nation, I want to know what you think of this promotion and what's the weirdest thing you got with a car. Like, what were you able to finagle with your car purchase or car lease? Because mine is kind of weird, honestly. But I'll talk to you next break. See you later.
Welcome back to DBL. In today's Chatting with the Stars, actor Christopher Meloni talks about the new role he's taking on. You know him best as Detective Stabler on Law & Order SVU, but now he's in The Handmaid's Tale. Earlier, our own Tori Shulman sat down with Christopher to get all the details on what it's like behind the scenes. But first, check out this clip of him as the powerful Commander Winslow.
We have to be judicious about the images we release to the world. Absolutely. The correct image can sway opinion.
Chris Meloni, welcome to Daily Blast Live. All right, let's get straight to it. Let's talk about your role in season 3 of The Handmaid's Tale.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, my love. This is Polly, who obviously has forgotten how to knock. Blessed evening, Polly.
I want to know this, and a lot of our people have asked this to ask you. How do you prepare to shoot such intense scenes? And more importantly, how does the cast, including you, decompress from all of that?
Whatever role you take on, you know, at least for me, I see what the layout is, the world you're living in, and then you just get down to personals. You make the world smaller. You make him as human as possible, and with whatever interesting quirks come to you. That's kind of the creative sauce, I guess.
Here's to your bright future. Perhaps here in D.C. Posting in D.C. would be an honor, sir.
Tell us your favorite part of working on Handmaid's Tale. What was your absolute favorite part that you'll take away with you?
I just love how they shoot the show.
Nice.
I love it. I find it one of the more cinematic shows on television. So I just was really kind of curious about, you know, whatever their theories, or, you know, something is, what's the lens and why the lens, and what kind of special filters they put, you know, just the kind of geeky stuff that I'm still just learning myself, but I found really very interesting.
You're a nerd.
That's what
It's the best. It's just like me. That's exactly right. It's amazing.
I'm a nerd, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, I watch every season. A lot of our DBL Nation watches, so we cannot wait to see you in this season in Handmaid's Tale, and we really, really appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks so much.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up on DBL, a New Orleans bride shows up to her wedding with a whopping 34 bridesmaids. What was she thinking? And is there a new feud brewing between A-Rod and Kylie Jenner? We'll show you what's playing out on social media. That's still ahead.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Let's try something different today since it's Wacky Wednesdays around here. Let's pan in on me. I'm gonna produce this digital break right now. 3, 2, 1. Hello, DBL Nation. I'm Brandon London, and welcome to Digital Break with Brandon. All right, I thought I was just, you know, it's kind of weird around here today, Wacky Wednesdays, so I'm being weird as well. But let's get to the fifth host. Obviously, I hope you guys saw the fifth host earlier when we were talking if you should approach your friend's boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse or whatever, if you see them out and it kind of looks like they're cheating. We had some pretty cool, interesting comments earlier, so let's keep this thing going. Kelly,
I had to speak out about this. I would tell them, and I would probably go if
What do you mean you would
if
tell
you were
them?
my friend's boyfriend, or if you were just a new boyfriend, probably not. But if you were a significant other
And
of
I'm
one of
at
my
the bar,
friends,
and
and I see you at the bar,
I'm at the bar.
yep. Especially if I've had one glass of wine, I'm probably going to be a little more confident.
Liquid courage.
Yep, so
Liquid
I'm going to
courage.
go up to you and I'm going to be like,
Oh, what's
hey,
up,
Brandon,
Kelly?
excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but do you mind if I talk to you for a second? Hi, I'm Kelly. Like, sorry, I'm just friends with Brandon.
You
Can
need
I
to talk to
you
me?
for Yeah.
I'm
just
in the
quick
middle of a
second.
date right here.
Oh, you're on a date?
Yeah, why you need to talk to me if I'm macking right
I'm
now?
so
I'm
sorry
macking.
to make this awkward, but he has a girlfriend.
No, I don't.
That's
Not
probably
today.
what I would do.
Not today.
You wouldn't say that, Brandon. Anyway.
It's improv, yes and. Improv, yes and. You got to keep the scene going.
I just had, that was good.
No,
that
thank
was
you,
good.
thank you.
That was good. Improv notes. I think
You
I would
would
have
really
to say
walk
so.
up?
I think probably if I had a glass of wine, probably.
But
Because I'd have
let me
courage to
ask
be
you a
like, this isn't
question.
okay.
Okay, Okay, courage is
If
cool.
not, I'd just tell my friend.
Courage is cool,
Yeah.
but would you have done your due diligence before you walked up?
100%.
So you're gonna make
100%.
sure if he touches her, the hand is gonna be up here,
Yeah,
not down there
yeah,
at the
if,
booty.
yeah. I
that
would
sort of
know
thing,
if
right?
he's like, feeling. If you were feeling all up on her, yeah, I'd know something was wrong. But if it seemed like a work meeting, I would never say anything. I would maybe go to the friend, or I'd go to you later on at a different point and say, hey, that was just a business meeting, right? And you could confirm. But then what if you lie?
But why would he have to answer to you or she?
Because
Gender
most
fluidity.
of my girlfriends, I'm
Fluidity.
friends with their significant others as well, so there's a relationship
Okay,
there
so you
between us
know.
already.
Okay,
Exactly.
so you know the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what if it's like a new guy? You like, over brunch, one of your friends are like, I got this new guy. Hey, take a picture. Look at the picture. Look at his Instagram. You've never met him, but you
Then
see
I
like,
would
that's the guy.
no,
from
I'd
Instagram.
never say anything then, because for all I know, you guys do have an open relationship. It's a new relationship. I probably wouldn't say anything.
And just when she says you guys, she's not talking about me.
No,
so ladies
not
of DBL
specifically.
Nation, I am not. I don't
He's a
step
good guy.
out and
Don't
do
worry,
all that
ladies.
stuff. We're just improving here for the scene for you to see it. But keep right in. We got DBL Drive presented by who, y'all? You'll see next.
That's right.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, tailgating isn't just for football season. It's a great way to enjoy family and friends. My girl Tori and I have some tips for you to help you out in the tailgate and to do it in style. In this DBL Drive presented by who, y'all? Nailed it.
Cheap way for a great summer night date. Get out your car, get out your trunk, cheese board, little wine. You got yourself a picnic in a Prius. That's what we call it, my husband and I.
Picnic in a Prius.
Picnic in a Prius.
And that's an alliteration, first of all.
Picnic in a Prius. There's a theme song. Picnic in a Prius every day.
We're all just going to try and erase that song.
Concerts, festivals, movies in the park. There is so much to do in the summertime. Here are some tips to level up your tailgating game when enjoying the heat. Don't have a table? Drape the back of your SUV or truck with a tablecloth to transform it into usable space. Bring furniture. Chairs are a must, but an extra side table or blanket are worth the trek. And for all of your driving adventures, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote.
Yeah.
Picnic in a Prius.
Yes.
I can't get that out of my.
Why?
I don't, because it's just annoying. And it's just like in my head like a bird cage.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
I know. It's gonna stay in there.
Oh, thanks.
Like in your head, like a bird cage.
Yeah, bird in a bird cage. Okay. I was assuming you assume there's a bird in there.
If you're leaving us right now, you can still watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Kylie Jenner puts Alex Rodriguez on blast. We'll tell you what's behind this new Twitter feud. Then, here comes the bride and her 34 bridesmaids, but you won't believe how many she originally wanted. And from Dirty Dancing to Titanic to The Lion King. Movies that are full of glaring plot holes. The biggest offenders when DBL comes back.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending stories, and I've got a breaking bad story for you right now. See what oh God, Tori's rubbing off on me. I am so sorry, y'all. I've got some booze coming in back here. Man, she really is rubbing off on me. So Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul are sparking a lot of Breaking Bad reboot rumors because they both tweeted this tweet. Alex is gonna bring it up for us. It's a picture of two mules, and it just says soon. They both sent it out on Twitter, they both sent it out on Instagram at the same time, and with the very same caption that just simply said soon. So DBL Nation, a lot of people are saying they think it will be a Breaking Bad Bad movie. If you saw the way Breaking Bad ended, it would be kind of hard for them to continue that on, maybe with flashbacks. I know a lot of people watch Better Call Saul. I know my Chris watches that. He loves it, but let us know if you watch that. It's kind of a prequel to Breaking Bad. But yeah, a lot of people think Breaking Bad, the movie, is going to happen, and that's what this is about. The two mules, maybe drug mules, is what I can guess. But a lot of people are excited about this. They're talking about it. DBL Nation, I want to know, did you watch Breaking Bad? And if you did you love it like I did? I actually rewatched it again a few years back because it was just that good. It's an easy binge-watchable show, and it's one of the best shows ever written, if you ask me. I'm not a TV critic, but that's what I think. Anyway, DBL Nation, let us know what you think this means. Do you think it'll be a movie, a reboot? Let us know. Bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Well, welcome to DBL. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now, so let's get started. A-Rod is getting called out online for what he had to say in an interview with Sports Illustrated. The former baseball star told the publication that while sitting with Kylie Jenner at the Met Gala, all she talked about was her Instagram, her lipstick, and how rich she is. But now Kylie says that's not true. She tweeted, quote, no, I didn't. We only spoke about Game of Thrones. And now A-Rod has responded saying, OMG, that's right, Kylie Jenner. It was me talking about you and your makeup line and how much my girls love you. Hashtag GOT, hashtag respect, hashtag all love.
Hashtag what?
Was he throwing a shot back at her?
No, I don't think so.
Because he was being funny?
I think he backpedaled because to say respect, all love, I think he mischaracterized her in that publication.
That's not a mischaracterization, Erica.
He slandered her, but he's backpedaling now.
Yeah, this is why the men should stay out of the women's business like in Real Housewives, okay?
Mm-hmm. No. You hope they do in Real Housewives, Erica.
Exactly.
You hope they do.
Exactly. I don't see what the point of this was. Like, was he... I don't understand. Like, why even bring something like that up?
No, Erica,
well, did you read the article, first of all? You're going to die, Al. He's like, yeah, and I sat by the black guy from, oh, you mean Idris Elba? And I sat by that Asian guy from Crazy Rich Asian. Like, it was a very bad interview that A-Rod gave.
This is what I call just super weird, because if Jeff and I have a conversation and I'm like, Jeff, can you believe that, I cannot believe I'm tweeting, man, Jeff, I really do think that, we should be paid more than anybody else on DBL, and then tweet that, and then you go, wait a second, I didn't say that. I'm like, oh yeah, I said that. Wait, no real person messes up like that. That's weird.
I already retweeted that last year when you wrote that.
Let's get it going.
You have to remember, though, that this resurgence of A-Rod, and this is with all due respect to him, but really what's making him so hip in pop culture is J-Lo. Because A-Rod's never been somebody who has been like the master communicator.
Yeah.
That we're all like, that's what I was trying to say, but you said it better, A-Rod.
Yeah, you're right, Erica.
All I picture A-Rod, not a million home runs, not World Series. I picture him with that turtleneck on and that family photo with J-Lo.
The white turtleneck?
Yeah.
He dresses like Ned Flanders.
No, he was forced to wear that turtleneck.
Yeah,
for sure.
J-Lo has first and last name.
Remember when he got forced to wear that turtleneck?
Yeah, yep, mm-hmm. All right, well, shifting gears here to some very sad news. We're learning reality TV star Beth Chapman has passed away. Raquel Villanueva has that news at the moment.
Well, Dog the Bounty Hunter star Beth Chapman died this morning at a hospital in Hawaii. Earlier this week, she had been placed in a medically induced coma after a long battle with throat cancer. Now, Beth rose to fame alongside her husband, Dwayne Dog Chapman, as the bounty hunter on their reality show. Dog confirmed her passing, saying, today she hiked to the stairway to heaven. We love you, Beth. See you on the other side.
The couple had been filming a new show, and it's unclear if it will still air. Beth was 51 years old.
Oh, such sad news, Raquel. Thank you for sharing that with us, and thoughts and prayers to that family. They definitely are going to need them now more than ever. A bride from New Orleans is going viral for having 34 bridesmaids.
Yes.
She says it's because she has 6 sisters. She comes from a big family and has met so many people over the course of her singing career. Her husband did tell her to cut down that list of bridesmaids. She originally had 50. Well, at first I thought this was insane, but now after hearing her explanation, I'm like, go girl, good for you.
No, it's still insane.
She has 6 sisters and she's met a lot of cool people.
So guess how many bridesmaids you have?
There we go, Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's something that you learn wedding number 2. Why? Because I learned it. I just had one, and she wasn't even my bridesmaid. She was just like my sister.
Wait, look at this image, Erica. Go back to that one, please, of all of them lined up and hear them dancing. Oh my God.
It doesn't make it better.
Yeah. I was in a wedding with 36 people.
Wait, yeah.
And so
total?
Wait, just total.
Yeah, it was on both sides. Like, so I think 18 and 18. And the wedding party started to go into the actual seats. But I mean, that's how they're just very social people. But for me, I know the averages of how many people you're actually going to talk to who stood up in your wedding, and they're fairly low for a lot of people.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
keep it tight.
I just have this thing. I feel like your groomsmen should be, not to be morbid, but it's a real honor, should be also the guys that like carry your casket.
Oh,
like those should
yep.
be your brothers in arms, and I don't know how it is for bridesmaids, but I would assume it'd be the same.
Oh, they're my ride or
Like,
dies,
I'm not
for
cool
sure.
with 50 people. If you're like, I have 50 friends, I'm like, you're a liar.
But you
That's
can't
not
blame
true.
her. I initially blamed her too. But hey, if that makes her happy, who are we to judge?
I'm judging. Yeah.
You with
Listen, I come from like an
orchestrated
Italian
weddings.
neighborhood, and there's way more bridesmaids and groomsmen than there has to be.
Yeah.
Like, this guy
What was the most you've
baptized-
ever seen?
Oh, I've been in part of wedding parties where
Like
there's
how
like
big?
at least 10, 12 guys on,
Yeah.
and then 10, 12 on the other side. So
It's like a circus at
ridiculous.
that point.
Maybe,
I agree.
Maybe it's just like PTSD of those weddings I had to stand up to, so that's why I'm hating.
I think some people just feel bad telling people they're not part of their wedding party.
Yeah, but it's
and
so
I think,
easy. You have
I know.
6. These are my
and
sisters.
don't get hurt feelings.
They're standing
yep,
up.
and don't, as a friend, you should not have hurt feelings if you're not picked.
Right.
So just support your bride. It's her day. We now have an explanation for a mysterious fish found in Lake Michigan. A man has come forward saying he attached his wedding ring to this fish because the ring is supposedly cursed. He says ever since he wore the ring on his boat, he's been having engine problems. It's safe to say that the marriage didn't work out, but DBL Nation, we want to know, do you believe in curses? Clearly, everybody in this situation believe in it. I don't like how the fish had that ring attached to him, but
That's what yeah.
yeah, but let's move
That
on
does
from that.
look not
It's weird.
great,
Like,
yeah.
that's a weird thing to do. But do you believe in curses? I feel like you might.
I kind of do, but here's the thing. Curses are all in your head. So if you believe it, you're going to manifest that.
Yep.
So if you believe in the negative curses, you're going to manifest that somehow. If you believe in the positive curses, I think you're going to manifest that too. So I think it's all in your head, but I do believe it.
And that poor fish got caught because it was cursed.
So wait, what happened? He caught the fish, put the ring on it, and then someone else
re-released,
caught it?
And then someone else caught it.
How did they know, like, the whole story behind it? They took a picture and they found out?
I think the local paper ended up doing a story on it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the individual that threw out that ring because it was cursed was like, uh-oh, that's my cursed ring.
I would not feel good if I caught that fish and it was cursed. I would be like, uh-oh.
You know where you feel better? At the pawn shop.
Yeah, get rid of that ring.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Well, I can see why he's divorced.
You guys wouldn't feel
decision-making?
cursed if you caught that?
No. Do you guys
Yeah,
believe in
it's
any of
weird.
that Bermuda Triangle? Any kind of
I believe in
hauntings?
exactly what Jeff just said.
What about hauntings? Like a haunted
I
house?
believe in ghosts. I
Really?
believe in ghosts. Yeah, I do.
Everybody?
Yeah.
You guys believe that there's
Spirits among
spirits
us?
floating around?
Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
I bet there's a few in the
Watching
studio
us.
right now. Yes, I do.
Even
Not
in your most-
watching over Al.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
but what
you.
if you're doing
how do you
something
explain
like
this very
taking
blessed
shots
life?
of vodka in your kitchen?
I don't think they care.
Is your grandfather watching Matt?
I don't think spirits have judgment. I don't think they care.
Really?
Yeah.
So then what are they watching for?
What else do you do? They don't have Netflix.
I would think you could talk to a famous dead person. What you dealing with us for?
You don't believe in
Some
another
mediums
energy,
do.
anything out there?
Yeah, I believe in energy, but but I don't think that they're coming back and hanging out in my apartment.
No, they are. Yep, Al, they've seen it all.
Wow.
Yep. All right.
I could only imagine.
Just get there and your uncle's like, ooh, Jeff.
Even if you're not a fan of a America's Got Talent, you will appreciate what happened on the show last night. Ben Trigger, who is an Australian travel agent, performed a dance routine for the judges. He says he has had some hardships and hopes that this could be his second chance. Watch. Yes, and he even accidentally gave himself the golden buzzer and still moved on to the next round. I think he planned to hit that golden buzzer, and that is a smart move on his point. Yeah, look at him.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yep.
It's everything we all really want to be.
Okay, I'm just saying this. America's Got Talent is designed to find entertainers that people will pay money to eventually go see. I would go watch that if that was, I'm not leaving my hotel, but if that's in my hotel and it's part, I'm going down there. Like, that was entertaining. And also, I think that puts an end to the fact that women need to cover up at the beach. Because if he can wear that, then y'all can wear whatever you want. All right?
Oh, here we go again. Yep. Yeah.
Can't not look at it.
The best, though, is when he leaned on that gold buzzer. Yes.
It wasn't the pot de bourrée, because I was living for that pot de bourrée.
I mean, that's an entertainment.
Yes. And you can tell he's just got good energy, right? It's contagious. There he is. Love it.
All right, loving that. You always accuse me of hating on AGT. I love that.
I know.
The last couple clips you showed.
You just called it AGT. Clearly, you watch the show more than
I'm on a new show. Time is of the essence. I gotta speed it up with an acronym.
Okay. Coming up on DBL, it's all about damage control.
See, DBL, acronym.
On the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, after a major accusation, we've got all the drama coming up in Reality Roundup, and the internet is on fire with the biggest plot holes in your favorite movies, from the illegal age difference in Dirty Dancing to the infamous floating wooden door in Titanic. Why wouldn't Rose just move over? Come on, Rose. We're having fun coming up next.
Best
got the receipt, and then we'll just go straight to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What's up, guys?
It'll
We're
work
getting
out.
into you guys got to stick around for the next segment because I love stuff like this. We're going to be covering movie plot holes, and there's a lot. I know I'm not going to give away what I'm going to talk about, but that's one thing that I do look for in movies is like things that kind of don't make sense. I think I told you this before, Erica. One time I was watching that old school movie Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. You remember Turbo and Ozone? You don't. You're making the face. And so it was an original breakdancing movie. Everybody watching, you're probably too young to remember. But Turbo, it was about this breakdancing crew that was trying to raise money to save their community center. And that was back when, like, in the 80s, all those mean businessmen were trying to set up strip malls and tear down their community center, so they had to breakdance to raise the money. And to stop...
Yeah, payback.
Keep it moving.
Payback.
I hope we got that on camera.
We did.
That is workplace bullying.
No, it's not, Al.
How is that not bullying?
It's not bullying. It's called payback. Al does it to her every day and puts unidentified objects in her cup every single day. So I'm here for Tori.
Me doing this?
I'll set it up.
And I'll finish my Breakin' 2 story later, since Tori doesn't know how to act during work hours. That is a post-work act, and she did it on camera. How dare she? Tori put her finger in my teeth.
Time and a finger in my drink.
Welcome back to DBL. Not all great movies make total sense. We usually suspend realistic expectations for the sake of the film, and Twitter users are calling them out. We are exposing plot holes in some of our favorite movies. Here we go. First up, we all love Dirty Dancing, but Patrick Swayze's character, I do, has an intimate relationship with Baby. Baby's only 17 years old.
Her name is Baby.
And nobody puts Baby in the corner.
That's really creepy.
Why was that
though.
sound like it was an alien movie?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's suspenseful, meaning like we can't believe that there is this plot hole.
17 though, isn't that like the?
It's pretty
All right,
weird. She's
Jeff.
still living like.
Don't indict yourself.
I'm not gonna attack myself, but isn't it?
No wonder the dad's so ticked off. I don't blame him.
How old was he?
Oh, he was
Patrick
teaching
looked
the
like
class,
he was
right?
like in his 30s. Let's be real.
That was always weird.
Yeah, he was cute, but yeah, he looked too old for her.
Okay.
All right, the next one. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a movie classic, but Charlie's mom works around the clock to keep the house clean while the grandparents are bedridden. But then Grandpa Joe suddenly is fully capable of walking and dancing. You guys remember that? How was that fair? If I was that mom, I'd be like, what? You weren't able to help me all this time?
So the Chocolate Factory isn't weird to you, just the fact that the grandparents were able to get up? That's what got you?
Yeah, that's what got me.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I got nothing on this one.
Oh, good. Welcome to the table. All right. The Lion King broke our hearts, Erica, when Mufasa died. But if he was the only male, that makes Simba and Nala brother and sister. And we all remember the love scene between them, do we not, Erica? But they're lions. Isn't that normal amongst the pride?
No, they're genes.
I don't really get into lions' intimacy. So I don't know what's normal.
I feel like
it's brother sister. That's not normal.
But how do you know that she didn't have another dad that maybe got
What is
eaten
this,
or something?
Maury?
What?
That's a good point.
Yeah, and then
we don't
that's
know.
just-
Still her brother.
Yeah, but
if they have one parent, that's the same.
No, what if it was like a friend of a friend?
Saying Papa was a Rolling Stone?
I'm pretty sure that amongst the Lions' pride, there's not much options.
Yeah, but I think they get together. They're like, oh, we're strength in numbers. Let's all hang out.
Yeah, but then stuff happens when you all hang out.
Yeah, but two different dads.
Okay, all right, we got one more. Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Fans of Titanic are still not convinced that both Jack and Rose couldn't fit on that door after the ship finally went under. I mean, this one is not cool at all.
Why?
Rose could have easily
We're not
moved her
both
butt
sinking because you
over.
want to get on?
She could have moved herself over, Al.
If he gets on, they're too heavy and they both go down. Look, you got to sacrifice
that's where you
one.
got legs for. You kick, 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 you'd be fine.
That water was freezing, Sam.
You can still kick, kick, kick.
No, you can't. Your body's going to shut down. Your central nervous system. You want
I
to get
don't know
into
about
this?
that.
I have no idea what I'm talking
Eric,
about.
would you have abandoned Anthony if he was holding on to that door? You would have let him up on that door with you.
I would have let him up on the door.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah.
What about you and Jordan? You would have let her up on the door.
Yeah.
See? What was that? That was like his R&B act. See that? Coming up on DBL, the juiciest moments in reality TV. Kate Gosselin is back in the dating game, but why did her latest dude turn into a dud? Find out in Reality Roundup.
The sun used to make our outdoor patio space so
Right, hi DBL Nation. I have a story, and when I read the headline, it kind of sounded like, I don't know, it's called Why Meghan Markle is Done Playing by the Rules. It feels like it's like a movie, like trailer intro, like Meghan is done playing by the rules of the press. So basically it means that she is, according to Us Weekly, standing her ground against the UK tabloids, which we have learned with Princess Diana have been very relenting to royals, and it's no different from her. She feels very scrutinized. She's having a hard time dealing with it, but right now she is trying to figure out what to do and maybe try different solutions to this role. So what advice would you give her to, if this is a problem she's facing, to ignore it, to like speak out on it? It's kind of a tough situation. I wouldn't know what to do. Anyway, I will talk to you next break. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. It's the part of the show where we obsess over our favorite reality TV moments. That's right, it's time for, what is it, everybody? Reality Roundup! First up, on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, things heat up when Camille claims Dorit's husband owes her friends a lot of money. Ooh, check it out.
Your husband owes out a lot of money to somebody very, very close to me. And I was just like, wow, where does she get all this fancy cars?
Oh, please. PK doesn't owe any of your friends any money, sweetheart. After tonight, I'm done.
Ooh, that's quite the accusation.
Okay, first of all, I believe that the friend are the Vanderpumps.
I think so,
or
too.
Lisa Vanderpump.
I think so, too.
And I think that's the whole thing. That's the way she's like throwing it out there. And also, I don't like this version of Camille. I was feeling really bad for her because she lost her home. And after this episode, when she was talking about like she had to settle for a 40-year-old Burberry coat and like all this stuff, I have no empathy for her.
I agree.
And on top of it, you remember the first time we met Camille, she was in a really bad situation because Kelsey had another woman, and then she was really, she was like a witch, you know? And I'm saying that to be nice. She was a witch. Hurt people. Her house breaks down or burns down, and then all of a sudden she's spilling people's business out there. It's not okay, Camille. It's not okay. Stay away from the husbands because you and your new husband will have to square up, and you better be ready to square. That's not right.
Mic drop. No, we got nothing more to say. That was fantastic, Erica. Let's get to this next one. Next up on Bridezilla's, Lessica has a vision for her bridesmaids to perform the perfect wedding dance, but her friends don't really care. Check it out.
I am going viral, and this is what you guys want to go viral for, is, oh my God, can't dance.
Nobody cares about going viral. I mean, we're 30-some years old. We don't care about YouTube.
My favorite moment is when the beach girl goes like this.
But amen.
Absolutely, who cares?
Amen.
Absolutely.
I'm 37 years old. Who cares about YouTube going viral? Can we please just have a good time at your wedding, please?
I think I agree.
I care about YouTube.
You do?
Yeah, we're on live.
Yeah, we care about it here on the show, but would you care as a bride?
Oh, no. But I do care.
Yeah, we do love you. And finally, on Kate Plus Date, that reality star, the reality star from John and Kate Plus 8, jumps back into the dating world. So will sparks fly? Well, gotta wait and see.
Do you drink wine ever?
Not too often.
I don't know if it looked painful, but I was aware that it felt so painful.
I just felt like that's where the date was, getting to know someone, and it just silence is part of that, and I don't think it affected the date either way.
When you can hear the ice crinkling as you suck up the liquid, you know it's a bad date. That's a really bad sign. I used to be a big Kate fan.
Really?
Huge.
Really?
I
A lot of people are fascinated by her. I don't get it. What's so fascinating about her?
So when she first started, she was on Oprah and she showed her skin, and she was very real for a time in the period when we weren't that real. And then it got to be, oh no, you're just a crazy mother. And now it's like I stay far, far away from her, and I feel like she doesn't do well with her kids. I really do.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I worry about them.
I don't think Kate's great without her 8.
She can't carry the show without them kids.
Checkmate.
Okay. That was good. This has been Reality Roundup. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Right. Naomi, she said I was talking about breaking too, and I said no one will remember it. Naomi said she did. Naomi, that's why I love you.
I have an idea about share heights.
Copy those files from the green packet.
What happened? She put her finger in my tea again.
No, it's.
And I think that's unprofessional, hurtful.
I want that.
Why is she wearing headphones? Yeah, she is walking around like I don't know, like a DJ. She looks like the pink ghost in Pac-Man. She does.
That's a good one.
That's my girl.
I just played that somewhere the other day. That's what I'm saying that. And I was like,
is it weird?
It's hard.
Dude, does it give you anxiety?
Yeah.
I don't like it when they're right behind me.
What the
and
hell
I'm like,
was that? I just played it. But then they trap you, like in the corner, and it's over.
It's weird. I don't know. There's like, I'm not a person that suffers from anxiety, but like Pac-Man does it just like I don't like things chasing. I don't like that.
Oh, I was at my buddy. It was this weekend. My buddy has the mini Pac-Man game.
Oh, yeah.
Now you could buy like the little arcade
Right,
game.
my son has
That's
that.
where it was. It's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird you said that.
Isn't
'cause I
it
was like,
weird
wait.
this resurgence with, because like my kids who grew up with all this technology love old school stand-up video games. And I wonder what that is, because they have access to like
pinball.
Crazy, yeah.
Remember when we went to that thing?
Yeah, that's where I took my daughter.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I went to this place called Hyperspace here in Denver, and I like it because Dave and Buster's, like, they have fun games, but first of all, their games are. Did I ever tell you what happened to me one time with my daughter there?
But I know where you're going. They're super expensive.
Dude, I took my oldest daughter and my oldest son to Dave and Buster's, and you know I put like a decent amount of money in their cars. Like, hey, you guys have been good. And so my daughter goes off, and I like run out, just like let them go play, and I'm eating at the bar. And she comes up and she's like, my car doesn't work. And I'm like, we've only been there for like 8 minutes. So I come back and I'm like, find the manager. And I'm like, I'm being stern but friendly. I'm like, hey, something's wrong. My daughter's trying to have a good time and her car doesn't work. He prints out this receipt. My daughter was playing the pull down thing where you get all those tickets.
Yeah.
But it's like $14 a pull, like 14 credits. And there was only like 100 and something on there. So she went through like $60 in probably like 7 or 8 minutes. And I had to do that when you're dead wrong after you've gotten the manager. And you're like, okay,
God.
I see. Okay, well, that's fine, and we're gonna just.
I won't be coming back.
Yes, I'm wrong. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
It was so, because I was like, I had that like, and can we check this out? Because, and I was like, he like black and white is just like, you can't argue, just like, oh no. Oh no.
Did you give her more money?
Yeah, I had to. We staying there. We only been there 10 minutes. I was like, I gotta kill this afternoon.
Dude.
Welcome back to DBL. One more story before we go. A new sport may be headed to the Olympics. Breakdancing is another step closer to making its Olympic debut in Paris in 2024. The IOC committee voted in favor of including it in the Summer Games. Breakdancing may join other new Olympic sports like climbing, skateboarding, and surfing. Well, yeah, look at the technique and the skill set that goes into this. Well deserved.
This is so exciting. I grew up going with my Uncle Clarence every Saturday morning to this abandoned parking lot on the west side of Chicago. And these guys would come out and they were like different teams and they would perform against each other and we would all just be like, oh, like, you know, it'd be like this big thing.
It was
so
like
when
Urban
I see
Anchorman.
Seriously, when I see that, it reminds me of my Uncle Clarence and there's so much nostalgia. There's a lot of talent in breakdancing.
And I have some bad news. I'm actually going to be taking some time off the show because I got to get ready for 2024. I'm going to cut it down.
That's insulting to them because it takes a lot longer than a handful of years to be
How do you know I've been practicing? Have you seen me breakdance? Have you seen me breakdance?
You want to show the viewer?
I can't. My knee is under repair.
Okay.
But you still got 5 years.
That's right.
That's not compared to people that have
How
been
do you know
doing it
he's
from
just
a
not
little kid.
a phenomenal breakdancer?
Come on, it takes decades to be at an Olympic level for any sport, including breakdancing.
Jeff, it's not in the Olympics yet, so we don't know. That's not a true stat.
Jeff, this is not about Sam's mad because I said she has a Christmas sweater on, which she does. It is a Christmas sweater. I love that season.
Sweater on.
I would like to hear from our
David?
viewers.
About 15
Until
seconds.
Christmas?
All right.
Right now.
Oh! Hey, viewers, is
Sam's
this a
going to kill
Christmas
me.
sweater? Be honest. Take a look. Is this a Christmas sweater? You tell me.
It's
red,
not.
white, and green. Those are the Christmas colors.
Hot pink.
That's not hot. That's red.
Red and hot pink, so we're both right. We'll see you tomorrow. Same
Merry
time, same place.
Christmas.
Hi there, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. First off, did anyone see Tori pop down during that segment? She was trying to stay out of the way, but as usual, she was caught in the camera. We're talking about Big Brother. I know. You guys all know I'm a huge Big Brother fan. But listen to what happened last night. Something went wrong with the DVR. It did not record, so I have not yet watched last night's episode. But Alex is going to bring up a few pictures. A lot of people were complaining about the decorations in the house, how it's like a camp theme. They were saying it just doesn't look like it normally does, and it's a little kitschy. I think we should go to the desk and see what Jeff thinks about this. Let's go. Hey, Big Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, it's June 25th.
Yo, Big Jeff, what did you think of the decorations in the Big Brother house last night, the camp theme?
The camp
Are
theme?
you into it?
Yeah, I mean, they got it's 21 seasons. They
A
can't,
lot of
they gotta
people
do something.
think it's kind of lame.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no matter what if you put gold statues in there, people are like,
That's true.
It's
Jeff's
like,
right.
dude,
They're
no,
always
you
going to
can't-
criticize.
man, of course, nobody in our DBL nation is negative. Of
No,
course.
never.
I've never met anybody who is negative, even though half the people in America are negative. I've never met one because
No.
they'll never tell you to your face.
Jeff, you know what I
Aren't
heard?
people
Just-
getting tired of the
I
negativity
am.
online?
I
I'm
am.
this close to shutting off my social media.
I
This
know
close.
you are.
At least
Don't
taking
do
off my
that.
phone. Do you notice I do not have a phone up here?
Yeah, he's been really good.
No,
He's
I
been
don't-
keeping the
I don't
phone
look
away,
at
keep
that.
that bad energy away.
Yeah.
I think that's good. You're still calling Nick to win?
It's too soon.
It's
but
too
yeah,
soon.
I'm going to stick with
DBL
my
Nation,
guns.
yeah, let us
And
know
if-
what you think.
By the way, disclaimer, get back here.
He goes
If Nick
so
does something
fast.
bad, it's not my
You
fault.
go too
I don't-
fast.
Travis
Just because-
goes too fast.
Just because Jeff likes somebody doesn't mean it's the end all be all.
Travis is moving too fast with the camera.
Okay.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Wednesday, June 26th. We are live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al, and I'm Sam. Let's get started. Well, we begin with a serious story. A shocking image of a father and daughter face down in the Rio Grande is sparking outrage right now. The image is too graphic to show here, but officials say the Salvadorian man and his nearly 2-year-old daughter, who you see here, drowned in the river on Sunday after being swept away by the current. This follows recent news about horrific conditions at migrant detention facilities, as reported by doctors and lawyers visiting the sites, including kids sleeping on concrete floors with the lights on 24 hours a day, with no access to soap or basic hygiene, and claims of torture. Many expect the immigration issue will take center stage tonight at the first Democratic debate in Miami. It's a 2-day event that will give 20 candidates a chance to speak out on the crisis, but it does have many of you wondering. And Tori, I want to hear from you, being our DC insider, and I know how much this affects you, and I'm sure all of our DBL viewers. The image alone is absolutely heart-wrenching. Do you think that this humanitarian crisis will take center stage coming this 2020 election?
If it stays with photographs, yes. And when I mean that, I'll just explain it. Today I opened my New York Times and it comes like this, right? And I opened it and the picture that I ask you to go look at is on the cover. And it's rare for the New York Times to have a dead child on the cover. But it's one of those photographs that really means something. So if they keep it with that, if you can show the migrant girl, if you guys remember this photograph we had a while back, see how that photograph sparked a little bit of motion in the legislation? She's so small next to that wheel, her face. This picture has that same dynamic. And I think that if we can keep focusing on getting the visuals out there, it will impress enough to get the Republicans and the Democrats together to say, we are better than this in America.
Do you think this brings the Democrats and Republicans together, or do you think this photo has some kind of political agenda towards it?
The magic of a photograph, and I love Pulitzer Prize photographs, the Viet Cong woman burning and all of that, is that they're apolitical, right? All this is a dead man and a little baby girl with her arm around her father. Every man and woman and child understands the pain in that. There's no party to this. So it's a blessing if these Republicans and Democrats can understand this is the bipartisan issue of our time. We can work on this together, but no one wants to see that.
Go ahead. I think it's so tough for people to not fall into politics with this. But I say this to you guys as parents: think about what it would take for you and your wife to look each other in the eyes and say, we need to get out of here tonight. You grab your kids. Think about just what a pain in the butt it is to take your kids to the mall. It's walking with baby Ford is a nightmare. I couldn't imagine, just imagine like you, and things are so bad that you and Jordan say, we're gonna leave Denver and walk to Canada. What has to be happening in Denver for you and Mark to take Sophie outside with just the stuff on your back? So you have to ask yourself, the fact that because they knew that them ending up face down in a river was a possibility. So what is going on back here that makes that the better option? And I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. And this is on two sides. We're talking about a border here. So we have things that we can do on this side, on our side. But there are things that these countries need to do right now, they're leaving a failed state. Whatever their country is doing is not working to retain their people. So it is, I'm going to say this, and it sounds very Trumpian, on both sides, this needs to be a resolution because we need to figure out why they're fleeing, and now that they fled, what can we do?
And their government is asking them not to. In fact, they're begging their people, do not go search because this could happen.
Right.
So, I mean, people look at this and immediately, that's why I get into politics, I think they blame Trump. And it's not the case. They're contracting these camps to other people, and I don't think people realize that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And I think what we can do as constituents, because I think we all are outraged. I think Republicans are, I think Democrats are, I think all of our hearts are bleeding right now. So these camps, or you can call them shelters, whatever you want to call them, depending on how you see fit, they are for profit. They are $1 billion industry. And when you work at these shelters, you are signing non-disclosure agreements because they do not want these images to get out because it is for profit. So as constituents, we can advocate for reform. We can be bipartisan here. This can be the issue that brings Democrats and Republicans together. And we can support different organizations like Together Rising that in the last 48 hours raised $2 million.
Say the name of it again, please.
Together Rising, there is an image right there. 100% of your donations goes to advocating for these children and making sure that these detention centers no longer have the horrors that are existing in them today. So let's leave it at that. Let's try to believe that we will come together on this one because I think that image, Tori, I think you're right. I can't even look at it.
I know. I had
but don't turn away from it. Yeah. Do not turn away from it and let that be the motivation to bring us together. All right, let's switch gears here.
Well said,
yeah, well said.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough being on live TV and covering these issues.
Are you kidding me?
It really is.
It's horrible.
But we're all in this together. So please, DBL Nation, chime in. The U.S. women's, I love you too. The U.S. women's soccer team may be winning at the World Cup, but co-captain Megan Rapinoe is making headlines for a completely different reason. The vocal critic of the president had a very blunt response when asked if she would visit the White House. Watch.
I'm not going to the White House. No, I'm not going to the White House. We're not going to be invited.
You're not going to be invited?
I doubt it.
The president is striking back right now, tweeting the soccer star should focus on winning first. He also said he'd invite the team, win or lose, to the White House, adding, quote, Megan should never disrespect our country, the White House, or our flag, especially since so much has been done for her and the team. Be proud of that flag that you wear. The USA is doing great. Tori, what do you make of this?
So here's the deal. She is a walking protest, and that's coming from her own words. She is gay. She's out. She kneels for the Star-Spangled Banner. She is just a walking protest. And anyone on that side can understand why she'd be a walking protest. I fully admire her and respect her for those protests. Do I think she should have been prepped for a moment where someone might have asked her if she's going to the White House and she might not have used an F word? Yeah, I think that would have been a much more effective message. More people would not tune out. More people won't use it to dilute it. We're talking about that instead of what we could be talking about. So she needs to be more prepared, is what I have to say. She can be protesting all she wants, but get ready for a soundbite, not use the word F.
Right. You know, to be honest with you, it's tough to talk about this story because immediately if you don't agree with her, you are against LGBTQ.
Right, no, I know
you know what I mean? So it's we are so quick to put people in categories nowadays on social media, in the media. So if you disagree with this, you disagree with everything that she stands for. That's not true.
Right.
That is not true. And people fall into this category online and people get outraged. I never agree with negativity with negativity. There's never going to be an answer. When you respond with negativity, I don't even care that you use the F word. It was just like, I'm not going. First of all, you do have to win. You have to win that. Focus on winning that. then when you get there, I think your platform is so much higher. You show up to that White House wearing your pride colors, and then you show America what it's like to be at the White House and support your people. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. I can't tell this woman what to do and what's right, but please don't mistake if I disagree with her with what her agenda is
Well
that I
said.
disagree with.
Well
Please.
said, Jeff. Well said.
I never thought about that. That's a lot more powerful visual. I would think, because I would have issues with going to the White House, but I think her showing up in that visual would resonate a lot more than if she just no-showed, because no one would know that she didn't show.
Speaking of images,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So, all right, well, keep the conversation going. We're going to switch gears here. A new sport may be headed to the Olympics. Breakdancing is another step closer to making its Olympic debut in Paris in 2024. The IOC committee voted in favor of including it in the Summer Games. Breakdancing may join other new Olympic sports like climbing, skateboarding, and surfing. I mean, well-deserved. So much skill set, so much time and effort in order to be the breakdancers on this world stage. So all of those sports just mentioned deserve it.
I think so, yeah. They have the X Games that, I mean, it takes a lot of talent and skill and, I mean, mental toughness to do some of those things. I think breakdancing is worldwide now, so it should be an Olympic sport.
Yeah, it also, can I just be honest, it modernizes the Olympics a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, how much rhythmic dancing can we watch? Like,
Zero.
how much trampolining do we need to see, which are both sports
Yeah, I want to
here?
see skating,
Surfboarding,
surfing.
like,
I want to see
that's
that.
awesome.
What if somebody says that's what the X Games is for?
I say put it into the Olympics and get more viewers.
Listen, I love the X Games. I have mad respect for them, but you can't compare the X Games to the Olympics. Everybody has that lifelong dream of winning a gold medal, right? So I think it's not fair to those sports to just say, oh, you have the X Games, when in reality, you know those
They
athletes.
don't give medals for break. It's just a 4-finger ring that says dope. It's dope. Gold, silver,
That's
bronze.
awesome.
That'd be, I would take that over a medal. You can wear that.
Awesome.
Dope.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, DBL's live, and we will bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, a bride's wedding goes viral because she has more than 30 bridesmaids. But why so many? Then veteran TV actor Christopher Meloni joins the cast of the hit show, The Handmaid's Tale. Find out what really goes on behind the scenes. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. What would you do if you caught your friend's significant other with someone else? Oprah and Gayle King have some advice, and we share your comments coming up next.
Best. Hey there, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. Please send us in your comments about that fifth host. It's a really juicy one, and I want to know what you would do if you were in that situation. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on with Tori and the gang.
In the gang.
This is interesting for Margot.
You didn't like that?
Are we about to get a milkshake with
Hey,
Reggie?
the Jets, the
Two
Jets.
straws.
I wish.
And the Sharks and the Jets, the gang.
I want to ride
How
out
come I was
high.
part of that improv and then it just like dies when I talk?
Because I was going with like Archie comic
Oh,
book, and
I
you just
see.
went way west on that one.
West Side Story.
Riverdale's supposed to be the Archie comic, like the dark.
It's supposed to be awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Jughead is like sexual. It's got really updated. There's a whole thing on it. It's really cool.
Really? I thought Jughead was a bully.
No, Jughead wears the Burger King hat. He eats a lot of burgers. He just sits there. He's kind of like the stoner.
Archie, I don't know. It's
Oh,
like, that's like my
you don't-
Marmaduke.
You don't read Archie?
Did anybody ever laugh at the Sunday comics ever? I never laughed at one Family
The
Circus.
Family Circus is the worst. It is.
I
I'm
never,
sorry.
read one and like laughed out loud.
It's never like, good one, Eve.
Yeah, dude.
How about Bazooka Joe's? You ever laugh at those?
No. What about a popsicle one on the stick?
No. I'd rather just a fact. I want a weird fact.
Yeah.
Something about how many baby seals have or something. I don't want, the jokes just don't work. The one-liners on candy.
Some of them are, the popsicle sticks
feel like you like 'em.
have some funny ones.
Just like, this is a good one.
They do. The popsicle sticks have some stupid, like,
I would
good
pay
ones.
to see you. Oh, that's a good one.
I thought I remember laughing at Bazooka Joe.
What's the one with the fruit?
Didn't Bazooka Joe have like
Yeah.
like a comic, but then like a fortune on the bottom or something? What was on the bottom? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You mean the
Bazooka-
rapper?
that was Bazooka
Is anybody
Joe. It did
old
say
enough?
like you're gonna have luck in the near future.
Wasn't it Bazooka Joe?
It was. They packed a lot into that little rap.
Yeah.
Joe, if you don't know, because you're young and that's really sad, it's bubblegum.
Not one person in here had turned at all.
No one knew.
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Bazooka Joe, it's an ancient form of chewing gum that was wrapped
That
in.
lasts for 5 seconds
and
of
then
flavor.
it's dead and your mouth hurts for
and
the
then
rest
you
of
chew
the
on
day.
wax rocks.
Cement.
But then it came with a joke and I think a little fortune in
Maybe
there.
there was a little fortune if you guys
It's only
remember.
5 cents. You can't go wrong.
You can't go with Bazooka Joe.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. OG BFFs Oprah and Gayle King shared some friendly advice on cheating with an O Magazine reader. The reader wanted advice after running into her friend's boyfriend at happy hour with another woman. Here's what Oprah and Gayle had to say.
I would say something to him. Would you? Yes, I would. I would go to him and I would say, look, I'm going to give you 24 hours, and if you don't tell her, I'm going to. But I would go and say something to him first.
I would definitely say something to you.
And not to him?
I wouldn't say anything to him. I'd go to you, and I'd say, I saw him.
Ooh, so DBL Nation, what would you do if you suspected your friend is being cheated on? Take it away, Al.
All right, Sammy. Veronica from Facebook says, if they're married and have kids, then I wouldn't say anything. I don't want to be the person who separates a family. Veronica, I'm on your page, but for another reason. You just don't know anybody's situation. Things might even look bad, but nothing's going on. Erica Cobb, our faithful co-host, she and I went to a Nuggets game. She used to work for the Nuggets, and I guess Rocky, the mascot, recognized her, stood up on the scores table, pointed at us, and then did this for a long time. And it was super awkward. And it's funny now, but I was like, Erica's a married woman. Yeah. It's just like, it was super weird. So you don't know. Even the mascots.
Rocky's got it wrong. He got it wrong.
Stop snitching, Rocky.
Yeah. Snitching. All right. Nina from YouTube says, I would definitely tell my friend I've done it before and no regrets. Yeah, someone also wrote in, and it could be an open relationship, so you really don't know. So I wouldn't go straight to the friend. My main thing is go with Gayle. Go to the guy and be like, or the woman, whoever it is, and be like, hey, what was that? What's the deal with that? Just get some more information, learn the lay of the land, let them know you know. You know what I mean?
But then you're in it, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's it, Jeff.
Yeah.
But shouldn't you be in it?
No.
Dude, that's your friend.
No, that's the end of your friendship.
Yes.
For sure. I've had friends like this.
Yep.
Michael from YouTube says, never make assumptions about other people's relationships. Every guess will be wrong. Listen instead. Well, I don't know. I have friends like this, and I listen to them complain about their girlfriends. And then when I say something like, I think she's seeing somebody else, that puts a gap in our friendship. My advice would be, take a photo, let them do it for themselves, and be like, listen, I'm out. Here you go. Make your own
send the
judgment.
photo to the friend or just have the photo?
No, just keep it in your phone. Of course, send it to the friend. What would you take a photo for and just keep
look at?
Just in case you needed proof or something.
Let's get one more comment in real quick. Demont from Facebook says, snitches get stitches. Unfortunately, too many messengers get shot in these situations. I'd really proceed with caution. Totally agree. I've been that person that tried to be a good friend, and then that person ended up getting back together with their boyfriend, and then they iced me out because they saw me as the one that destroyed the relationship. But when in reality, I would have supported them getting back together. Right. So now I'm not going to say boo. Sorry.
No boo?
No, I'm not saying boo.
No boo.
Yeah.
I've never eaten there.
It's a good restaurant in Malibu. No boo.
Shifting gears to some very sad news. We are learning that reality TV star Beth Chapman has passed away. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
That's right, Sam. Dog the Bounty Hunter star Beth Chapman died this morning at a hospital in Hawaii. Earlier this week, she had been placed in a medically induced coma after a long battle with throat cancer. Beth rose to fame alongside her husband, Dwayne Dog Chapman, as a bounty hunter on their reality show. Dog confirmed her passing, saying, "Today she hiked the stairway to heaven. We love you, Beth. See you on the other side." The couple had been filming a new show, and it's unclear if that show will still air. Beth was 51 years old.
Wow, very sad news. Very sad news.
I
So
watched
young.
that show for a long, long time. Wow, sad.
Yeah.
He's here in Colorado.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers to their family. Coming up on DBL, Alex Rodriguez versus Kylie Jenner. What? We'll tell you what's fueling a new social media feud. And you know him as a detective on Law & Order SVU, but now Christopher Meloni joins the cast of The Handmaid's Tale and spills some behind-the-scenes secrets. You don't want to miss it.
Hey everyone, so a lot of people are concerned about my dress color. Up close, it looks hot pink, and from far away, it looks peachy. So I'm gonna just go like this and see what you guys, the consensus is being. I'd like specific colors, like, is it a burnt sienna? Like, what is this? Like, is it flamingo pink? Like, y'all pick, okay? Still getting this. Okay, got it?
It's the average person's, preferred color of highlighter.
Okay, so we're getting, I think I'm being mocked. I'm not 100% sure, but they passed me a highlighting pen. Now it looks orange. Well, Orange, you glad I got that highlighter pen? Hey-oh! Okay. I think so. There you go. A lot of people writing Jeff.
1 minute.
Saying, please don't leave social media. Please don't leave social media. Jeff's on a little journey right now. He's on a little, what do you call it when an outback? The quest. A bar mitzvah, if you will, in the Jewish tradition. Or how you say, what do the Native Americans say? The dream quest. Something like that. But he's really got to go find his own way and figure that out. And he's right. A lot of social media, too much of the day, does give you a lot of depression. And that's,
Back in about 30.
look at me. Like, look over here. Check out that. See the newspaper? Look at the phone. It's down because I'm not ready to not have social media. But I'm ready to not look at the social media all the time because I'm trying to learn from Jeff. So I got to be honest, guys. Like, I got to go. He's going to wave this thing and it's a passive-aggressive way of telling me I got to go. But what do you guys think about this? Maybe we should all do this together? Cheers.
Welcome back to DBL. And today's Chatting with the Stars, actor Christopher Meloni talks about his new role he's taking on. You know him best as Detective Stabler on Law & Order SVU, but now he's entering the dystopian world in The Handmaid's Tale. Well, earlier I sat down with Christopher to get all the details on what it's like behind the scenes. But first, check out this clip of him as the powerful Commander Winslow.
We have to be judicious about the images we release to the world. Absolutely. The correct image can sway opinion.
Chris Meloni, welcome to Daily Blast Live. All right, let's get straight to it. Let's talk about your role in season 3 of The Handmaid's Tale.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, my love. This is Polly, who obviously has forgotten how to knock. Blessed evening, Polly.
I want to know this, and a lot of our people have asked this to ask you. How do you prepare to shoot such intense scenes? And more importantly, how does the cast, including you, decompress from all of that?
Whatever role you take on, you know, at least for me, I see what the layout is, the world you're living in, and then you just get down to personals. You make the world smaller. You make him as human as possible, and with whatever interesting quirks come to you. That's kind of the creative sauce, I guess.
Here's to your bright future. Perhaps here in D.C. Posting in D.C. would be an honor, sir.
Tell us your favorite part of working on Handmaid's Tale. What was your absolute favorite part that you'll take away with you?
I just love how they shoot the show.
Nice.
I love it. I find it one of the more cinematic shows on television. So I just was really kind of curious about, you know, whatever their theories, or, you know, something is, what's the lens and why the lens, and what kind of special filters they put, you know, just the kind of geeky stuff that I'm still just learning myself, but I found really very interesting.
You're a nerd.
That's what
It's the best. It's just like me. That's exactly right. It's amazing.
I'm a nerd, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, I watch every season. A lot of our DBL Nation watches, so we cannot wait to see you in this season in Handmaid's Tale, and we really, really appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks so much.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up on DBL, a New Orleans bride shows up to her wedding with a whopping, what? 34 bridesmaids. What was she thinking? And there is a new feud between A-Rod and Kylie Jenner. We'll show you what's playing out on social media. Still ahead.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Hi, DBL Nation. I have a story that kind of starts off pretty sad, but I promise it has a good ending. This woman posted a photo of a man at McDonald's. He appeared homeless, so she kind of made some like taunting remarks at him, kind of posted it, laughed at the whole thing, and it turns out that that man is actually someone who works at the restaurant and was sleeping in between shifts because he's having a hard time making ends meet or having things done after his mom died. And he has a young child. Oh, and he was just working, and what ended up happening is that the community, I wish I could kind of go in on this, show you better photos, set up a GoFundMe account, got him the things he needed, and ended up helping him out. So something meant to shame someone actually did good, and that's why I absolutely love this story. They've already raised $2,300, and it is on, if you want to find it, GoFundMe, it's for Simon Child. So if you want to read the story, learn more about it, it is actually very touching, and he seems very, very thankful. So look up Simon Child, and I will see you next break.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, tailgating isn't just for football season. It's a great way to enjoy family and friends. My girl Tori and I have some tips for you to help you out in the tailgate and to do it in style. In this DBL Drive presented by who, y'all? Nailed it.
Cheap way for a great summer night date. Get out your car, get out your trunk, cheese board, little wine. You got yourself a picnic in a Prius. That's what we call it, my husband and I.
Picnic in a Prius.
Picnic in a Prius.
And that's an alliteration, first of all.
Picnic in a Prius. There's a theme song. Picnic in a Prius every day.
We're all just going to try and erase that song.
Concerts, festivals, movies in the park. There is so much to do in the summertime. Here are some tips to level up your tailgating game when enjoying the heat. Don't have a table? Drape the back of your SUV or truck with a tablecloth to transform it into usable space. Bring furniture. Chairs are a must, but an extra side table or blanket are worth the trek. And for all of your driving adventures, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote.
There you go.
I love that. You're like, how can we forget what you just sang?
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Is it still stuck in your head?
A little bit. Kind of catchy.
Picnic in a Prius every day.
That was good.
That's kind of.
That actually was catchy and good.
When did you guys film that?
I know this is
He's wearing a turtleneck sweater. It's
I know.
summertime.
It was cold in the
95
morning.
degrees
I
outside.
panicked, and then you're not like you're like I'm gonna put this.
You mocked him like the mock turtleneck he was wearing.
Ooh.
Yes.
Speaking of Christmas, Saint
You're
Nick
leaving
over
us
here.
right now. You can still watch us live. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Kylie Jenner puts Alex Rodriguez on blast. We'll tell you what's behind this new Twitter feud. Then, here comes the bride and her 34 bridesmaids, but you won't believe how many she originally wanted. And from Dirty Dancing to Titanic to The Lion King, movies that are full of glaring plot holes. The Biggest Offenders, when DBL comes back.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, and I've got a really weird trending story for you. It was the top of the Daily Mail today. It's kind of interesting. I won't show you the photos because they're a bit too graphic, but if you want to go look them up after this, I do encourage you to do so. So a man was found in a bear's den alive after a month. So some hunters and their dogs were walking by, and their dogs wouldn't keep walking, and they weren't sure why. Their dogs were just stopped on this one area. So they discovered it was a bear's den, and a man was in it. He had been there for a month. He was almost mummified, and that's why I can't show you the picture, because he's so thin and he almost looks like a mummy, but he was still alive, you guys. So this story is crazy to me. I want to know what you think about it. Please go look at the pictures. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is real? Do you think this could be fake? I don't know. I think it could be real. He survived by drinking his own urine. I know that's a bit graphic as well, but that is what survivalists do when they're in those type of situations. So please let me know what you think of this story. Please go Google it so I can hear what you think of the photos and if you think it's real. All right, guys, bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now, so let's get started. Well, A-Rod is getting called out online for what he had to say in an interview with Sports Illustrated. The former baseball star told the publication that while sitting with Kylie Jenner at the Met Gala, all she talked about was her Instagram, her lipstick, and how rich she is. But now Kylie says that's simply not true. She tweeted, quote, no, I didn't. We only spoke about Game of Thrones. And now A-Rod has responded saying, OMG, that's right, Kylie Jenner. It was me talking about you and your makeup line and how much my girls love you. Hashtag GOT, hashtag respect, hashtag all love. So he's backpedaling.
Totally backpedaling, beep, beep, backpedaling. I did a little research. The whole interview, if you read it, it was a truck.
Yeah, I appreciated the truck reference.
I just wanted to see their faces too, because I know they're out there making the same one.
They were. So listen to the rest of this interview. Are you ready for this? They asked him, who else was at your table? And he goes, I don't know, the black guy from The Wire. That's Idris Elba. He says, some singer, Versace, Donatella, and Kylie Jenner, and the lead from Rich Asians. It's like, wow. I just feel like you should know those things a little bit if you're A-Rod.
He does sound like, I'll defend him and saying he just sounds like somebody's dad. My dad wouldn't know any of those people. He wears a sweater vest, for God's sake.
Your dad doesn't go to these events left and right every weekend with J-Lo, meeting these people. He should know better.
I mean, I think it's more embarrassing that he tweeted a conversation he had with somebody privately.
Me too.
We're done talking. If we talk and then you go online and say what I said, and then not only misrepresent what I said, but completely get it 180 in terms of what we talked about, we're done, son.
It should.
We are.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we got it.
All right.
Yeah.
We're done, son. Was a good way to end it.
Okay, well, we'll go to the next story, shall we? All right. I want your opinion on this one, Jeff. Do you think you're angrier than your parents?
Yeah.
Well, a new poll says that Americans are angrier today than they were a generation ago. Nearly 84% of people surveyed said that was the case. So those are the numbers from the NPR and IBM Watson Health poll. But there's good news for older people that are age 65 and up who are apparently less likely to say that they are angry. Do you believe it?
I think so. You know what it is? I always go to it. It's social media. You know what I mean? Your parents at their age, they hated their neighbors. They hated their cousins. There was like 10, 15 people in their lives. You have 200,000 followers on your Instagram.
Some of us do.
500,000, 50,000 of them hate your guts.
Yep. But here's the deal. If you go back and think about 1968, let's say, where MLK was assassinated, RFK was assassinated, and the Chicago riots, Vietnam, they were drafting sons and daughters. That was like where you really had something to be angry about. Nowadays, I think anger is a little bit of outrage porn, and that's what they say is like a pop culture way of saying it, that it's just easy to click and get mad. It's not real anger, right? It's just like surface level
I think there's
anger.
plenty of things for people today to be angry about.
The suicide rates up tripled because of social media. So I don't know about...
The difference is social media, though. I think anger can lead to revolutions, can lead to policy changes. So I think it can actually be a great emotion. But I think social media makes us not be able to shut it off. And that manifests, as you say all the time, it manifests into anxiety, depression, suicide. We can no longer just shut stuff off anymore.
Yeah, but I would think that some of that anger would be mitigated by all the good things that the internet has brought to our lives.
That's a good
point. We get to
point.
watch soldiers come home and surprise their kids. We get to watch something like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge go
But we
viral.
don't focus on
we get to
that.
talk about how gay marriage went from a joke to a thing in 2 years.
And widely celebrated.
Yes, I can go on Amazon and just get a tie without leaving my house. I don't know why I picked the tie. Good improv, Al.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I would think that some of the bad stuff has been mitigated by the fact that, like, I can just be like, hey, Jeff, you want to go to the game? Hold on. All right.
Yeah.
Where do you want to sit? Where do you like our seats to be? And it's done. How come no one's excited about that?
We need to focus on the positive. You're right.
Do you
It's
know
a
how
lot
long
easier.
stuff used to take?
Yep.
Do you know what it was like to get a flight in 1981? You used to call up. There would be a woman that would pick the phone up. You'd be like, when do you want to
What
go?
about directions?
Yeah, it was a pain.
I
You used to
know.
get lost all
But
the time.
that was just the times. That was what it was. You weren't angry about it.
Yeah,
You're like,
but
oh
it
man, I
still
can't wait for
stunk.
20 years when we have spacecraft.
Yeah.
But I think your point is well taken. Before we move on, just to focus on the positive. It's a lot easier to dwell on the negative, but then that just breeds more negativity. So yeah, you're right. Remind yourself of the good that's coming out of it. Thank
Postmates,
you.
I'm good.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
people that bring you sushi.
Yes. Okay. We're moving on.
Burritos if you want.
All right. Okay. A
You can get
bride
gifts
from
for your
New
kids without leaving your house.
Can't. And look at there's Bert in the back. We are live.
Wandering around.
That's our EP back there. A bride from New Orleans is going viral for having 34 bridesmaids. She says it's because she has six sisters. She comes from a big family and has met so many people over the course of her singing career. Her husband did tell her to cut down the list of bridesmaids. She originally, Tori, had 50.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, good for her to have a lot of friends. This seems like overkill.
I think she just didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. That's what I think.
Yeah, but imagine being there as a guest. How long is that procession? Are they going one by one?
Yeah. It's too much. It's
too
overboard.
much?
Can we see more of these images?
They
Just
made it
to-
look good, but listen,
Yeah.
you have 6 sisters. Guess how
Look
many
at this.
bridesmaids you have?
Oh my God, look at that. It's like a clown car.
But it dilutes it, though. It doesn't mean as much if it's 50 people.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, I don't want... I
You're
wouldn't,
right
if
about
If I
that.
was part of like 6 people, I'd be like, oh, your brother's up here, I'm up here, and maybe 2 other guys who grew up.
means
I was like,
something.
these are the people that when my life flashes before my eyes, I'll see these faces. 50 people, you couldn't even, you have to get an aerial shot to get those people in there. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
And how about if you're the 35th person and you had 34 others and I wasn't on that list? Bye-bye.
Yeah, can you imagine being
You're done,
asked,
son.
being asked and then finding out that like 50 people would be, or one time I was asked once somebody got kicked out and I was so mad.
You were
because
an alternate.
You were B team.
Yeah, first of all, I didn't care. I really there's only a select few people that I really want to be your bridesmaid, like my best friends, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I've been suckered in to be a bridesmaid because I'm really good at organizing. I throw great parties.
You are good at it.
You know, and
You're
I feel
humble.
Yeah.
I feel like people use me for that. But when I was someone's alternate, that ticked me off.
Really?
Because
Did
then
you say yes anyway?
I did.
You're so
But
nice.
it's like then I have to go buy the dress, help organize the bachelorette party, do all these responsibilities when I'm your alternate. That's not cool, Bill.
No.
Put me in the game coach or I'm out.
Yeah, and you better be one of my best friends.
Yeah.
If you really love me, let me just sit there and get hammered.
Thank
I don't
you.
wanna walk up and down.
I totally
Open
hear
bar.
you.
When is that happening?
Yeah, sounds
Enough
good
with the
to me.
I love yous.
Yep. All right, we're on the same page. We now have an explanation for a mysterious fish found in Lake Michigan. A man has come forward saying he attached his wedding ring to this fish because the ring is supposedly cursed. Safe to say that marriage didn't work out. Now, another man who caught this fish says his boat has been having engine problems ever since he encountered the ring. And it certainly didn't work out for that poor fish.
No, I was going to say that fish
That's
didn't
sad.
want that
First of all,
either.
that's mean. Second of all, that ring sounds to be like it is cursed. Everything it touches doesn't work out.
Why don't you just throw it in the lake? I just spit everywhere. Why don't I just throw it in the lake?
Yeah, why did it have to go
why
on
did it
a
have
fish?
to go on a fish?
I think that maybe he thought that would be some way of breaking the curse, perhaps, if you took it way out with the fish and it swam away.
And then like a local paper covered it, and then the guy's like, that's the ring.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like how you guys are trying to give framework to this madness. This guy has issues, which is why his wedding exploded in front of his face, and he tied a ring to a fish, which is another red flag,
Yeah.
which I'm sure his wife
You're
saw
right. You're
leading
right.
up to this. You don't just tie a ring to a fish.
Yep.
You did 78 crazy things, and now we're tying a ring to a fish.
Poor
His wife
fish.
got out, and even the fish got out. Everybody's getting away from this guy.
No, the fish did not get out okay. It doesn't look like the fish is alive in that photo. Wow, that's not cool.
They caught the fish, so I don't think it is alive, but they should sage the boat.
Yeah, they should stage
Or
the
fix
ring.
the engine.
Get rid of that ring.
Yeah.
Would you want that ring after you heard
Mordor.
all those stories? Would you hang on to it?
No, I would be like freaked out.
Right?
I'd be
Yeah.
like,
It's like the lava rocks in Hawaii. Do not take it home.
but I don't know how this story got out. Like you caught a fish, you took a picture, and
somebody
then they
got it-
tracked down the reason and who did
It went
that?
viral because there was a ring on a fish.
fish.
And you're like,
Yeah.
hey, what's that ring doing?
And then
Yeah.
someone's like, hey, that's my ring.
Yes.
I'm a depressing person.
Yeah, that's what we
Yes.
just said. 2
No.
minutes
Yes,
ago. That's what we just said.
No, I don't think we explained it enough.
Yeah, we did explain
We just
it.
showed a fish
no,
with a ring
and
on
I
it.
explained that the local newspaper then talked about it, and then the guy was like, oh my gosh, that's my ring.
Do you know how big Lake Michigan is? What do you mean the local newspaper?
That's a good point.
From that community.
I smell something fishy.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, perhaps there's something was drummed up. We don't know. I don't know what the end game would have been, but perhaps. Even if you're not a fan of America's Got Talent, you'll appreciate what happened on the show last night. Ben Trigger, who is an Australian travel agent, performed a dance routine for the judges. He says he's had some hardships and hopes this could be his second chance. Watch. He even accidentally gave himself the golden buzzer and still moved on to the next round. Yes, I think he planned that golden buzzer moment, which is brilliant.
The whole thing is fantastic.
Brilliantly produced.
Yeah, marketed well,
Yep.
done well, ended with a great ending.
What's he gonna do for his next act?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure he would. You don't think that he would evolve?
Exactly. That's what he's doing right now. He's like, uh-oh, what am I supposed to do now?
That's
his
one
dance
act.
routine.
I'm sure there's many acts in his mind.
How long could you sit through that?
You're the one that 45 minutes ago said, I would go to that show.
I would go.
I
said if it was in the lounge of my hotel.
Okay.
And I was waiting for an Uber. I didn't finish that.
Wow. I think it's quite entertaining.
Good for this
and
guy.
good. And you know what it is, Tori? There's something about his, like, you can just feel his aura.
Yeah,
he
his
feels
unabashed
like you want to go hang out with him.
Yes, and look at that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yep. Yes, honey. Yes.
I feel like if you knew him, that would be 10 times better.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Like, oh my God.
Larry?
Yeah.
No, what's Larry doing?
All right, coming up on DBL, it's all about damage control on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after a major accusation. We've got all the drama in Reality Roundup, and the internet is on fire with the biggest plot holes in your favorite movies, from the illegal age difference in Dirty Dancing to the infamous floating wooden door in Titanic. Why wouldn't Rose just move over, huh?
Move over?
Huh? We're having fun coming up next.
Best fiend.
Hey, could you get a Raj for Al?
Okay.
All right, so guys, we're reading your comments. Karen Guest says,
What's
sorry.
that?
Oh my, did it come off?
Hey, Jamie, we had.
Bro, it looks like a 1,000-legger.
What's that mean? What's an 1,000-legger?
You don't have 1,000-leggers like where you're from?
Do you mean a caterpillar? Or centipede?
Yeah, but the little ones?
The centipede.
You don't call them 1,000-leggers?
No, centipede means
Do you have
100 legs.
1,000-leggers?
Centa and pede, like peed.
I know, but you ever see those little...
Yeah.
I don't know why we
Millipede is
call them
1,000.
1,000-leggers.
That's funny. I've never heard
You call
that.
them 1,000-leggers?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's the weirdest
No
thing.
one ever heard of that term?
Okay, so DBL Nation, we're going to you. Anyone call those millipedes, which in French means 1,000 legs? Does it mean?
Really?
Yeah, a millipede.
Boom.
So
Chicagoans breaking it down.
you didn't know that. So does it? Do you ever say 1,000-legger or millipede?
No one called...
Millipede, they said.
Nobody here has ever said 1,000-legger?
Can anyone say if they've known a bug known as 1,000-legger?
Not one response. Somebody just lied.
No one even looked over.
Make me feel good.
Very upset. Nope, no one's interested. So wanted to make sure people
So back
know.
to Tori, where someone will really not be interested.
Sorry.
Tori, do we want to talk about how pink your dress is?
We already
Hey,
asked.
do you know what Al called you?
What, highlighter?
No, I said you look like one of the ghosts from Miss Pac-Man. I like it though.
You should have Al just chase you around slowly and just make sharp
And then
right
make
turns.
right turns.
90 degree
Yeah.
turns.
And then get eaten.
Tori, I told Jeff, Pac-Man gives me anxiety.
I don't like Pac-Man
being
because it's
chased.
being chased. Yeah.
I don't like something when it's right behind you and you're like
And
zagging.
that's enough. I've had dreams like that. I don't need it in my real life.
Yeah.
Well, people wrote in and said, from afar, my dress looks peach. Up close,
Look at you.
as to what color it is. That's every day, buddy.
Welcome back to DBL. Not all great movies make total sense. We usually suspend realistic expectations for the sake of the film, and Twitter users are calling them out. We are exposing plot holes in some of our favorite movies. All right, here we go. First up, we all love Dirty Dancing, but Patrick Swayze's character has an intimate relationship with Baby. Baby's only 17, you guys. She legit is a baby.
Her name is Baby. I just realized that's
and he's
totally
like 30 in there.
But isn't that legal in some states?
Maybe.
17?
It just
I think so.
looks weird.
It is
feels weird, but we never thought of it back then.
Nobody puts
thought of
Baby
it.
in the corner, or nobody puts the underage person in the corner.
Wow.
This next
Yikes.
one. Fans of Titanic are still not convinced that both Jack and Rose couldn't fit on that door after the ship finally went under. Tori, you know a lot about this.
Yeah, so there is a photo that went viral. I want to take a look. Someone did a science fair, and they showed every angle in which Jack and Rose bottom left are playing cards. Now, here's the problem. The weight, okay?
Yeah.
So
what kind of wood is it?
It's a teak, I think, or oak. Maybe
Wow,
maple.
Sam, that's a really serious question.
But yeah, that would determine whether or not
How would she know that?
Here's the thing,
What is she, a
Mythbusters.
carver? Where did you find that? Science fair?
Mythbusters did a whole thing, and they attached her lifeboat to the bottom of the wood, the door, and that would have kept it afloat had they just done that.
Well, not cool at all. Okay. Good one, Sam. In the first two Home Alone movies, Kevin's parents leave him stranded to fend for himself. There are a few plot holes in these. Al, you know too much about
Don't
this.
get me started on Home Alone. Lots of issues. First of all, how did he afford to take all those kids to France, where they were going? That's 9 kids, and he left one. That's expensive, even for like that neighborhood they lived in. Also, how come since his kid was got left, how about he goes and crashes with a friend? Why did he have to stay at home? He didn't have anybody in the neighborhood.
Call a neighbor to come
be like, hey,
over and
can
rescue
my
him.
son that I left stay with you?
Right.
Home Alone
Everyone
2.
was out for Christmas.
Everybody in the whole neighborhood.
Think about it, the robbers were like, everyone's gone for Christmas.
Okay.
except this
All right,
family.
keep going out. Keep going.
Okay, Home Alone 2. Kevin gets to New York where he's never been before, but knows his way around the Upper West Side like nobody's business. He's running around with no
He
issues.
did have a map. You're right. He had a map, Al.
The
Sorry.
way he was running. Okay, can I also finish? And I will end it with this.
Home Alone
Besides
3.
the plot being ludicrous, at the end when they did find him in the hotel, and can we have a picture of the receipt that I found? This is what
You
Kevin
found
ran
that?
up $967 at that fancy hotel, and his dad yelled at him. I'm like, dude, you left your son twice. He racked up a bill under $1,000, and you got the nerve to be mad at him. I call you know what.
Yep.
There were some holes in that.
Yeah, I agree.
What?
I think your holes are just as holy as theirs.
Really?
Yep. He's right. He had a map.
She's mad that I said
right.
she has a Christmas sweater on, and it's bleeding over into other stories.
It's definitely not a Christmas sweater. Okay, it's definitely not. No. Coming up on DBL, the juiciest moments in reality TV. Kate Gosselin is back in the dating game, but why did her latest dude turn into a dud? Find out in Reality Roundup.
The Sun used to.
I have a developing story on Britney Spears and her conservatorship. Right now, her dad is going out against the kind of like the Free Britney people. They were the ones that when she was in the mental health facility were screaming like, "Free Britney, she's there against her will," and they were causing all this hoopla. Well, he's going after one of the main bloggers and suing him actually, and they're just like, this keeps happening. We're getting like new and new information, so I'm kind of looking at my phone right now to get an update. It was filed on behalf of Jamie and the conservator of Britney Spears' estate, which is a whole legal team. And they say this person falsely suggested that they were using a social media in the way to negatively portray her and do harm. So DBL Nation, what do you think? Will this kind of change the way people comment on celebrities? Because they, like we talked about in the Meghan Markle thing, will this kind of change how it's done if they get this lawsuit on the ground, and will it change the way celebrities are treated? Because this could set some precedent. So let me know, and I'll talk to you next break.
Welcome back to DBL. It's the part of the show where we obsess over our favorite reality TV moments. That's right, it's time for, what is it, everybody? Reality Roundup! First up, on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, things heat up when Camille claims Dorit's husband owes her friends a lot of money. Ooh, check it out.
Your husband owes out a lot of money to somebody very, very close to me. And I was just like, wow, where does she get all this fancy cars?
Oh, please. PK doesn't owe any of your friends any money, sweetheart. After tonight, I'm done.
Ooh, that's quite the accusation.
Okay, first of all, I believe that the friend are the Vanderpumps.
I think so,
or
too.
Lisa Vanderpump.
I think so, too.
And I think that's the whole thing. That's the way she's like throwing it out there. And also, I don't like this version of Camille. I was feeling really bad for her because she lost her home. And after this episode, when she was talking about like she had to settle for a 40-year-old Burberry coat and blah, 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 like all this stuff, I have no empathy for her.
I agree.
And on top of it, you remember the first time we met Camille? She was in a really bad situation because Kelsey had another woman,
AKA
and then she was really, she was like a witch, you know? And I'm saying that to be nice. She was a witch. Hurt people. Her house breaks down or burns down, and then all of a sudden she's spilling people's business out there. It's not okay, Camille. It's not okay. Stay away from the husbands because you and your new husband will have to square up, and you better be ready to square.
Yep.
That's not right.
Mic drop. No, we got nothing more to say. That was fantastic, Erica. Let's get to this next one. Next up on Bridezilla's, Lessica has a vision for her bridesmaids to perform the perfect wedding dance, but her friends don't really care. Check it out.
I am going viral, and this is what you guys want to go viral for, is, oh my God, can't dance.
Nobody cares about going viral. I mean, we're 30-some years old. We don't care about YouTube.
My favorite moment is when the beach girl goes like this.
But amen.
Absolutely, who cares?
Amen.
Absolutely.
I'm 37 years old. Who cares about YouTube going viral? Can we please just have a good time at your wedding, please?
I think I agree.
I care about YouTube.
You do?
Yeah, we're on live.
Yeah, we care about it here on the show, but would you care as a bride?
Oh, no. But I do care.
Yeah, we do love you. And finally, on Kate Plus date, that reality star, the reality star from John and Kate Plus 8, jumps back into the dating world. So will sparks fly? Well, gotta wait and see.
Do you drink wine ever?
Not too often.
I don't know if it looked painful, but I was aware that it felt so painful.
I just felt like that's where the date was, getting to know someone, and it just silence is part of that, and I don't think it affected the date either way.
When you can hear the ice crinkling as you suck up the liquid, you know it's a bad date. That's a really bad sign. I used to be a big Kate fan.
Really?
Huge.
Really?
I
A lot of people are fascinated by her. I don't get it. What's so fascinating about her?
So when she first started, she was on Oprah and she showed her skin and she was very real for a time in the period when we weren't that real. And then it got to be, oh no, you're just a crazy mother. And now it's like I stay far, far away from her. And I feel like she doesn't do well with her kids. I really do.
Really?
Yeah. I worry about them.
I don't think Kate's great without her 8.
She can't carry the show without them kids.
Checkmate.
Okay. That was good. This has been Reality Roundup. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Good scratching? That's
Just all.
Wow.
You know?
All right, guys. We are following Jeff on his journey. A lot of people writing in about.
Yeah. Yeah. And they just
talking about social media and how it affects you and how it makes you feel things.
They send it to me.
And
yeah.
Will you explain the desensitization thing again, really quick?
Well, I've just been listening so much. I've just been listening so much about like podcasts and psychology and like the world that we're in with social media. I'll do a whole thing on it. I mean, if we had time to talk about it.
So we're talking about that and what people are talking about in social media, and it's funny because we're on a social media show and we want to be live and we want to be
that's
open.
my ring and here's
but
my
it
story.
does. You know, you look at the algorithms and it's curated to make you feel a certain way, and you wonder why we're so anxious and why we're so quick, and our attention span is so quick. And Jeff was saying, as you go up, you're like, I dislike, I'm outraged.
I wake up.
They're meant to be that way.
Right.
These apps, that's why there's watchdogs.
But it's also like I'm going so far into the rabbit hole of why people are on social media. And like I said, I'll do like a half hour because I could talk all day about it. But it's not only that, it's people who build these algorithms for these companies, for like Instagram and Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, even Google search engines. They're controlling what you're looking at.
Yeah, they're curating
So they're
it.
putting it out. So if you start finding negative things on your thing, it's just gonna make more negative things come down your pipeline. And I used to just get up and look at, what's Instagram doing? Oh, this is a sad story. This makes me laugh. And I'm going through all these emotions instead of like worrying about my feelings for today or what my kids are doing. So now I'm not having a phone at the table. When I wake up in the morning, I'm using my phone for positivity and listening to something good on podcast or listening to some motivation. And I'm not watching what people write on comments.
I've been doing
And
the same
when I get home, I'm going to
thing.
spend my time with my kids, and my weekends are for me. I'm not getting off of social media. I'll still post things because I'm proud of my family or my accomplishments or what we do on our show. It's that the comments, and I appreciate everyone's comments because I get 1,000 great comments from you guys. But it's the 50 comments that bother me. I go down that rabbit hole of finding out who they are and why did they say that. And it's filling my brain with negativity.
And it takes your time
and
away.
it's making me negative. So I got to get back to because when I say I'm positive all the time, it's not because I skip around town. It's because I have to make myself that way. Otherwise, I fall into that rabbit hole of everyone else on the internet. So you have to work at being positive. You need to train your mind at being positive.
And a lot of young kids don't know how to have those
No,
boundaries.
they don't,
That's why
and that's
I
why
don't
it's
want
so
my
negative.
kid having a phone until much later.
For sure, my kid's not having a phone until high school.
Yeah,
There's
me too.
tests done that suicide has tripled because of social media, and it's mostly teens,
Well, look how we
and even
feel.
more so teen
Can you
girls.
imagine being as insecure, we all were, insecure teens, and then you have that?
I want to do a special on this whole thing because it's so fascinating.
You should actually.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we have, Tori?
All right. Well, Donna Anderson, who I love, I think she's written in before on Facebook, says, no one said that A-Rod is the sharpest knife in the drawer. That's true. 34 Bridesmaids, Heather Tew says, how many best men? That's a good question.
34.
We're there.
You got to balance it out, right?
Oh, man.
Well, not if they don't walk down together. You don't need to.
Right.
That looked like a destination wedding, by the way.
That's
a lot.
That's a lot of
I
people.
don't have 34 friends.
I know. I don't either.
Yeah, we
Okay.
know.
Also, Vote to Count says the bet should be how long will that marriage last?
Can I add this comment in here from Ellis Walker?
Why are you standing like one of my aunts in the kitchen?
It's not a Christmas sweater, Al. That's what Ellis Walker said. Thank you.
Thank you.
How is this not Christmassy? Tori, it's got red, green, and white. That's
And
what Christmas.
pink.
Sorry.
And it's leopard print, but okay.
It's a seafoam
What did you
fuchsia.
What did you tell? What did you say she
Tori
looked
looks like one of the ghosts from Miss Pac-Man. Doesn't she?
No, you're
See you
just
tomorrow,
saying.
same time, same.
Back me up.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert with the DBL digital team here. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, and I've got a trending news story that I think you guys might be interested in. So a company is looking for a person who can go to a French chateau and just drink rosé. We've got people raising their hands in here. So they want you to be an Instagram influencer. You don't have to have a certain amount of followers. You just have to post a video on your Instagram and apply, and they have to like it. So Mike, I want to see your video later. I better see your application. Yeah, so apparently you travel, you get $10,000 for your troubles of traveling around to different vineyards in the French chateaus. That sounds fabulous. I'd love to get paid to do that. DBL Nation, I thought you might as well. I will post a link on our social platforms so you can apply if you're interested. But again, you do have to put that application video on your Instagram. And please send it to us too so we can see it. Anyway, DBL Nation, let us know if you're going to apply. Bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, June 26th. We're live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. And right now, I'm here with Erica, Tori, and Al. I'm Jeff. Let's get to it, guys. A shocking image of a father and daughter face down in the Rio Grande is sparking outrage right now. The image is too graphic for us to show here at DBL, but officials say the Salvadorian man and his nearly 2-year-old daughter, who you see here, drowned in the river on Sunday after being swept away by the current. This follows recent news about horrific conditions at migrant detention facilities as reported by doctors and lawyers visiting the sites, including kids sleeping on concrete floors with the lights on 24 hours a day with no access to soap or basic hygiene and claims of torture. Many expect the immigration issue will take center stage tonight at the first Democratic debate in Miami. It's a 2-day event that will give 20 candidates a chance to speak on the crisis.
Feels like 200.
Yeah, I know. It has us asking, do you think this humanitarian crisis will be a defining issue in our next election?
So I think it will be, and I think we have to keep the visuals up. And what I mean by that is I opened my New York Times today, and if you guys don't know, it comes like this, and I read it every day. And when I open it up, I'm not going to show you, but the image is on there. And for the New York Times to have chosen to place a dead baby on the cover of their newspaper is incredible, and it's meant for us to look at. So I do ask you to look at it and not turn away. If you can keep it visual, the audience that we're speaking to now, the Twitter audience, that quick-paced audience starts to feel more emotion. So remember this quick shot of the migrant little girl standing next to that wheel. That really sparked a lot of conversations. She looks tiny next to that car, next to that pair of legs. It's unnamed. We don't know where her mom is. So this kind of stuff, if you can get it into social media, can push the narrative farther than going Democratic, Republican. This picture is apolitical. It's almost, I'm sure it's going to be a Pulitzer. It's that kind of an image that speaks to every man, woman, no matter who you are. So if the Democrats get it right, if the Republicans get it right, you call this a bipartisan human issue, and therefore you're respecting both sides.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that photo or any photo, if you don't have sympathy, something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong with you.
Right.
And that's why we're trying to balance both sides here. But do you think there's any political agenda behind that photo?
No, I don't. What I think is, and why it went crazy is because there's a little girl, if you don't know, in the river, and her arm is around her father. And that tiny arm in the river is just a microcosm of all migrants everywhere.
Well,
I will
say this, though.
Africa, everywhere.
And as much as I agree with you, Tori, immigration is always going to be an issue in this country. And you can build the wall was one of the pillars that Donald Trump ran on. That's about immigration, and that's about preventing people that look like this getting in this country. So I think the silver bullet for any Democratic person that's ready for this debate tonight is if they can, in some kind of amazing way, come up with any kind of idea that is bipartisan, because I'm starting to hear ideas that aren't about this, but maybe like the universal basic income. People are starting to warm up to that. If somebody can propose an idea on immigration that both sides don't hate, I think that could rocket somebody where they're all kind of fluctuating.
We'll look to Elizabeth Warren for that.
It's huge. You're not going to change the Second Amendment. That's going to be a divisive one. But if somebody can come up with something on immigration that we have not heard before, I think so many people are done with this conversation, but also don't want to see this, that they'd be willing to vote for that candidate.
Where do you stand on all this? What's your thoughts?
I think there's a fundamental flaw with the conversation because we're not acknowledging our selective empathy. When it really comes down to it, we are very selective on how we apply rules and regulations. I mean, if somebody came to your house, Tori, and slipped and fell in front of your door, you as the property owner would be responsible for that. So the idea that it's someone else's problem once they're on our territory in our land isn't true, because when it comes to us as individuals, we would be responsible for that. But also the idea of empathy, it's very hierarchical. It's like whoever's the most useful, their lives matter the most, and whoever is most in need, lives matter the least. So we're very selective with empathy, which is the reason why it's very hard for people to put themselves in someone else's shoes, especially when we're talking about people who aren't citizens, because we've been less than empathetic with our citizens.
Well, great conversation, and it makes me interested to see these 20 candidates speak, and I think they're definitely going to have to talk about it.
You have to address this.
And if they don't, that says a lot too.
That's a message as well.
Absolutely.
The silence is even louder. You're absolutely right.
Right. So I hope this brings, as weird as it sounds, somehow brings the parties together, because this has to stop, and we need to find a peaceful way to solve it.
Amen.
All right, guys, we're going to switch gears here. You think you're angrier than your parents? I am. Well, a new poll says that Americans are angrier today than they were a generation ago. Nearly 84% of people surveyed said that this was the case. Those are the numbers from the NPR and the IBM Watson Health poll. But there's good news for older people that are 65 and older, I should say.
Listen up, Tori.
Okay, old man.
They're apparently less likely to say that they're angry. Do you think times are angrier now, or do you think times are angrier 65 plus years ago?
I think that we're equally as angry or not angry, however you want to look at it. It's just that it's in our face how angry we are. And all of the issues that people could, ignorance is bliss. There's a reason why we say that phrase, because the less you know about something, the more of a reaction it's going to get from you. So I think that we're just aware of how angry people are, and then it causes this like very weird reaction. It's like a chain reaction. reaction of anger.
Are you referencing social media or no?
Yeah, I mean social media or just the web in general.
Yeah,
the web.
I blame social media.
Wow. Log on, check us out on AOL.com.
Where's the blacksmith?
But no, I think to Erica's point, I don't want to cut you off. I think you're right in terms of with the ignorance is bliss. With the internet, you just know everything. It used to be like, oh, we're going to SeaWorld, and now like you see 2 documentaries and you're like, oh my goodness,
Yeah, but you
SeaWorld.
guys are forgetting
Everything you know too much now, and I think it does bother some people.
I know, but in 1968, people knew that they were drafting our brothers and sisters. They had race riots. MLK was assassinated. RFK was assassinated. Leaders were being shot left and right in 1 year. There was anti-war peace movements all over the place. So that was a really angry time. The 60s and 70s. You have to imagine race, women, a lot of people fighting with each other. But what I think we see now is a quickness to anger. We're so quick to go there, as before it would take deep anger to rile. Now it's like outrage porn. You click, you click, you click, you click. And it's not really the same anger in some respects.
Yeah, well, imagine if there was social media, though, during that time you referenced.
You think it'd be even more?
I don't know. This social media thing I could go on for hours about, but I don't think it's a good thing, and I don't think we're in a good place with our society with social media.
Well, I think we are a unique organism in that our technology has outpaced us, and we're kind of catching up with it. We kind of are just trying to figure out how to regulate this thing that we came up with. It'd be like, you know, giving a flamethrower to a chimp. Like, it doesn't know what it has yet.
Right.
And so we have to kind of figure out as we go along, maybe we do need to have regulations where your name is attached to your social media so you're accountable for what you say. Maybe we don't allow dummy accounts. Maybe we don't allow hate speech.
Or
what
Russians
is hate speech?
to
all these kinds of things that we are figuring out as we go.
Right.
So just give us time to
I
cook.
think we need to come up with some answer, and I think about it all the time. I know we got to move on to the next story, but I'm always like, why doesn't someone come up, you know, their Instagram, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, why doesn't someone come up with a new platform, name it Jeff, whatever you want, but you know what I mean, and you're regulated. You have to use your driver's license to get on that platform. This way you have to be 16, number one, to get on that platform. Number two, if you do something wrong, your name is on it. I don't care what you say, but you got to own what you say. And this way it's an even playing field for people. They're both equally at stake. All these bots and people making fake accounts and writing people and the negativity, that something needs to be regulated because it's the wild west on social media, and it's starting to affect me and how I raise my kids and what I'm doing just mentally in my day-to-day. You know what I mean?
You know, I do want to say this, Jeff. I know we have to keep going, but like, the idea, and you believe in positivity, and you believe that if you are thinking positive things are going to happen. If you're thinking negative things, like, there has to be a line in the sand, like whether there's a switch in your head, there has to be, because it will consume you and it will terrorize you.
For sure.
Like, every time I come home, I have to have a conversation with myself, and sometimes I have to have it with my husband. I don't want to have conversations about what we're talking about at this table. Once we get up from the table,
me too.
I have to have separation of church and state.
Yes.
When you want to have a conversation with me about something crazy and negative and the world's falling apart, I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude, but don't talk to me about that. And I know it sounds like you don't want to hear, it's ignorant. No, I have to manage my expectations and my self-worth and how I'm processing
our sanity
things.
and our
You have to have a switch, and that's just it, unapologetically. I don't care if people are upset about it. That's how I have to live my life in order to get up every morning, and that's the truth.
Yeah, so I think it's affecting us all in some sort of way. Yeah, let's continue this at the break. Check us out at Daily Blast Live on what? All of the social media platforms we were just bashing. DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, a bride's wedding goes viral because she has more than 30 bridesmaids. But why so many? Then veteran TV actor Christopher Meloni joins the cast of the hit Hulu show The Handmaid's Tale. Find out what really goes on behind the scenes. And you, the viewer, are the fifth host. What would you do if you caught your friend's significant other with someone else? Oprah and Gayle King have some advice, and we share your comments next.
Best Fiends.
I'm getting there where I'm
Yeah.
starting to separate. So we're continuing the conversation of social media and doing this every day, and we have to cover negative stories every day. And you know, and we laugh a lot. I don't want to make this all negative. I'm blessed to work with these people, be in my position. I'm never going to forget that. I have a beautiful family. I know what's good in my life, but sometimes the negative bleeds into my real life or my other life, because this is a life that I have here and I have a life at home. It bleeds into that, and then I go on social media and read comments, and it kind of manifests that. It's like I'm feeding that fire instead of the negative or the positive fire.
A big part of it too, Jeff, I think for you especially,
Thank you.
is you're like a very much Midwest guy. Like you consider other people, you want to acknowledge people,
Right.
regardless of if you know them or not. And when you acknowledge people and consider people, not everyone is coming to you with the best intentions.
Right.
So they're bringing negativity and you're trying to be a good person by
Right.
acknowledging them, and then somehow that becomes a part of your interpersonal communication with them,
Right.
which doesn't help. To me, this is gonna seem super rude, but I care about your opinion as much as I care about you. So if you tell me how to care about you or show me that you're a person I should care about whether I know you or not, that's the amount of attention and amount of credit I'm going to give to anything that you say or do. And honestly, I had to come up with that because I needed a formula.
I don't have that.
Like, I needed
don't
a
have
formula.
that, and that's a great thing. And I've been telling my friends here, I've been really anxious in the morning, like electric to the point of like I could light up New York City when I wake up, and I'm like, it's the job, it's my husband, it's not having kids, it's doing this. And now I'm starting to think about it. I'm constantly like, Jeff makes so much fun of me, but I'm scrolling like mad.
No, but I did that too, but I'm trying to piece
You're
together
putting it together,
why
right.
it's like that. And I'm
And I'm
listening
thinking-
to those podcasts
Right.
and listening to professors and everybody knows and celebrities that are now like, it's a negative place and I need to. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, and we talk about what you're talking about. OG BFFs Oprah and Gayle King shared some friendly advice on cheating with O Magazine readers, and the reader's advice after running into her boyfriend's. Let me start this over because this is confusing. After running into her friend's boyfriend at happy hour with another woman, are we all on the same page?
We are.
Here's what Oprah and Gayle had to say about that.
I would say something to him.
Would you?
Yes, I would. I would go to him and I would say, look, I'm going to give you 24 hours, and if you don't tell her, I'm going to. But I would go and say something to him first.
I would definitely say something to you.
And not to him?
I wouldn't say anything to him. I'd go to you and I'd say, I saw him.
Rules of DBL Nation. What would you do if you suspected your friend is being cheated on?
I don't know, but I would be mortified if Oprah was the one that caught it.
No.
Mel from Facebook says, how about go up to the woman and introduce yourself? Get as much info as you can out of her. Ask her if she knows your friend. Blow up the spot on the spot. Hashtag girl code. I know this sounds so foolproof. However, you don't really know your or the other person's situation. I had this happen. It was during my separation, which led to the divorce, and we knew we were getting divorced, but we hadn't openly told anyone, and actually didn't tell anyone for over a year. So when I'm out to dinner with a gentleman friend and a mutual friend comes over and inserted himself into the conversation, and it was a person I wasn't particularly fond of anyway, it was rude, and he was out of line. So I say, mind your own business and stay out of other people's bedrooms.
All right, Markle from YouTube says, I agree with Oprah. We all do. Just tell your friend that you ran into her man at happy hour, unless you saw more like physical contact. What if it was a coworker? Very true. I was out with a coworker who's sitting at the table with me. Her name is Erica Cobb. We were at a Denver Nuggets basketball game. She used to work for the Nuggets, and the mascot, who I'm assuming knew her, stood up on the scorer's table in a full mascot outfit and pointed at us, and then did the I see you thing to us with his big mascot fingers. And it lasted for a long time. And for anybody looking, they're like, oh, I thought Erica was married. Erica is super married. And Rocky did not know. Rocky the mascot was in our business.
He was out of line.
big mascot.
Mind your mascot business.
I can picture it. All right, Danny from Facebook, this goes to what you were saying. I told a friend once that I saw his boyfriend checking out of a hotel with another man. I was surprised to find out they had an open relationship. Yeah, these days, everything is fluid. You don't know. Here's what I would do. Listen to Gail. Go to the guy or woman and say, hey, who was that? Just find out, let them know you know what you know. You know what I mean?
Use those big
And then do
mascot
the big
fingers.
mascot fingers.
Gigantic yellow finger is pointing at us.
That was pretty funny.
Good combo. All right, guys, coming up on DBL, Alex Rodriguez versus Kylie Jenner. We'll tell you what's fueling a new social media feud. And you know him as detective on Law & Order's SVU, but now Christopher Meloni joins the cast of The Handmaid's Tale and spills some behind-the-scenes secrets. Ooh, you don't want to go away.
Welcome back to the DBL Stream Team, where we talk all things streaming on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. And this week, we got the chance to see Always Be My Maybe, starring Ali Wong and Randall Park, about a couple that were separated at childhood and come back together 15 years later to seal the deal. And Kelly,
This is the
what a
ultimate
movie.
rom-com. Leo doesn't even like
You know,
rom-coms.
I
Leo,
don't.
tell him
And
you liked
I
it,
love
didn't you?
this one. Not to mention Keanu Reeves appears in
Making
it.
that
I
little
mean,
appearance.
yeah. But what I really like about this one is we follow them in a couple different stages. We follow them
I
when
like
they're
that
kids.
too.
We follow them when they're teenagers, and then once again as adults to provide a great amount of context that you usually don't get in rom-coms. You
Yep.
usually just start right into it.
We actually have a celebrity endorsement on this one. Mariah Carey is speaking out about it because her song "Always Be My Baby"
Yep.
plays at the end.
It's
obviously,
perfect for the
obviously it's a
movie.
play on words of that. But I just love this movie. I love Randall Park. I think he's
Yeah.
always so funny. He comes off on screen as really humble and kind, and so does Ali Wong. She's just hilarious.
And you know what? Speaking of Always Be My Baby, the whole soundtrack for this is awesome. I mean, they've got great hip hop songs.
Yep.
Randall Park plays a hip hop artist in it, so there's all these great jams, and even the original songs are awesome too.
Yep, good stuff.
Yes, but also this week we're also watching Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch.
I don't know the
That's
theme
the
that
way
well.
we
Okay, so you got it. You got it. I don't know the theme that well, but this is streaming on both Hulu and CBS All Access. But Kelly, I'll be honest. I can probably remember
Leo.
1 or 2 episodes, but not that
Let
much
me ask, do you remember
beyond
this?
that.
Marsha.
Yeah, I remember
Of course,
that. I
everyone
feel like
remembers
that's
that.
the signature line.
Yeah.
Like I said, guys, catch this one on Hulu or CBS All Access. And then coming up this week on Netflix, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Oh my goodness, guys, it's probably the best Spider-Man film so far. But what's great about this one is it brings different Spider people from all...
Welcome back to DBL. In today's Chatting with the Stars, actor Christopher Meloni talks about the new role he's taking on. You know him best as Detective Stabler on Law & Order SVU, but now he's in The Handmaid's Tale. Earlier, our own Tori Shulman sat down with Christopher to get all the details on what it's like behind the scenes. But first, check out this clip of him as the powerful Commander Winslow.
We have to be judicious about the images we release to the world. Absolutely. The correct image can sway opinion.
Chris Meloni, welcome to Daily Blast Live. All right, let's get straight to it. Let's talk about your role in season 3 of The Handmaid's Tale.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, my love. This is Polly, who obviously has forgotten how to knock. Blessed evening, Polly.
I want to know this, and a lot of our people have asked this to ask you. How do you prepare to shoot such intense scenes? And more importantly, how does the cast, including you, decompress from all of that?
Whatever role you take on, you know, at least for me, I see what the layout is, the world you're living in, and then you just get down to personals. You make the world smaller. You make him as human as possible, and with whatever interesting quirks come to you. That's kind of the creative sauce, I guess. Here's to your bright future. Perhaps here in D.C. Posting in D.C. would be an honor, sir.
Tell us your favorite part of working on Handmaid's Tale. What was your absolute favorite part that you'll take away with you?
I just love how they shoot the show.
Nice.
I love it. I find it one of the more cinematic shows on television. So I just was really kind of curious about, whatever their theories or, something is what's the lens and why the lens and what kind of special filters they put, just the kind of geeky stuff that I'm still just learning myself, but I found really very interesting.
You're a nerd.
That's what
It's the best. It's just like me. That's exactly right. It's amazing.
I'm a nerd, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, I watch every season. A lot of our DBL Nation watches, so we cannot wait to see you in this season in Handmaid's Tale, and we really, really appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks so much.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up on DBL, a New Orleans bride shows up to her wedding with a whopping 34 bridesmaids. What was she thinking? And is there a new feud brewing between A-Rod and Kylie Jenner? We'll show you what's playing out on social media. That's still ahead.
Am I on?
Al, you had comments you want to chit-chat about?
I have comments.
Okay.
Nina writes us back and said, when I told my best friend, I knew they didn't have an open relationship. So Nina was right on. Nina knew what to do. Nina's always right. We always listen to Nina, don't we, Al?
I like people named Nina.
So do I. They're trustworthy. They're dependable. They're reliable. They're usually Capricorns. They like the beach and a good pina colada. And getting caught in the rain. I am too.
Everybody likes the beach, though.
Oh my God, January 12th. Travis and I, we're
But
gonna make
he's
it after
way
all.
younger.
Are you trying to
He's
do a
way
little
younger,
butt
that's the
kissing?
only thing.
What'd you just say?
He's way younger
Travis is way younger?
than you.
Tori's trying to reel it back in because she yelled at Travis
It's
earlier.
just, Travis is a quick shot when it comes to the camera when we're done. He'll quick shot you away, and it's an empty
And Tori's
feeling.
only on camera 5.5 hours a day, so she needs that extra second.
That's so true.
No, come back.
Camera hug. Don't leave me.
I think
Driving
I'm about to
blindfold.
get cryo today.
I used to destroy Miss Pac-Man, that old video game. It took me 3 years to beat it, but it was time well spent. Again, Al thinks I look like the ghost.
I've been eating all the leftovers in my house because this story's going
I'm a little bit worried about you because you're just eating random hamburgers. You were eating, he goes,
No,
there's
no.
just a hamburger in my fridge and I ate it.
First of all, I hadn't had a cheeseburger from McDonald's maybe in 15 years. But there was one cut up. It was my son's, obviously. My wife took my sons to Charlotte. I'm going to meet them there at our break on Saturday. So there's all this food in our fridge because we had our in-laws stay with us, or my in-laws stay with us
Big
while we were
sexy.
there. So there's all this food, like mashed potatoes and like barbecue chicken I'd never eat. But I hate wasting food, so I'm eating everything in the fridge. And then the other day I brought a cut up hamburger for lunch, and like some weird, I had like chicken, a piece of corn,
He's
a
like,
cut up
"Give me the
hamburger,
meat."
and a piece of string cheese that was half open. I'm like, can't throw that away, so I better eat it.
You're like that guy in, what is it, Billy Madison, where he's like, they eat all the kids' lunches.
It's Chris Farley.
I love that part.
Yeah.
That was called like every third Sunday at the Cobb household.
You had to eat stuff.
I
like
hate
that.
wasting
Potluck,
food.
like everything. Well, every third Sunday or when we have way too much food in the fridge.
My mom always has too much. I went into my mom's fridge. It's 2 people, okay, just 2 people. And it's always fully stocked to the point where the mustard's coming out. And at one point, I reached behind the mustard, the pickles. There was, no joke, a horseradish root. And then behind that was Narnia. And it was like, well, that's the fridge that goes to Narnia.
See, I can't have all that
It's
stuff.
too much.
We have bags
It
of
was too
chips.
much.
I never have chips in my house because I can't control myself. And now they're just bags of chips, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm like, I know they're there.
He went to hide them. He hid them.
I hid them in the back of the cabinet. I don't know where they are now.
You gotta have Jordan hide them.
I gotta throw them away. I'm bringing them to work.
The problem is what generally happens.
She's
to
gone,
me.
Al. You missed the whole thing.
He's there by himself.
Yeah.
So he is stewing.
Yeah.
Stewing.
See, look how nice Travis left so gently.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, tailgating isn't just for football season. It's a great way to enjoy family and friends. My girl Tori and I have some tips for you to help you out in the tailgate and to do it in style. In this DBL Drive presented by who, y'all? Garfield! Nailed it.
Cheap way for a great summer night date. Get out your car, get out your trunk, cheese board, little wine. You got yourself a picnic in a Prius. That's what we call it, my husband and I.
Picnic in a Prius.
Picnic in a Prius.
And that's an alliteration, first of all.
Picnic in a Prius. There's a theme song. Picnic in a Prius every day.
We're all just gonna try and erase that song.
Concerts, festivals, movies in the park. There is so much to do in the summertime. Here are some tips to level up your tailgating game when enjoying the heat. Don't have a table? Drape the back of your SUV or truck with a tablecloth to transform it into usable space. Bring furniture. Chairs are a must, but an extra side table or blanket are worth the trek. And for all of your driving adventures, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. I'm glad you liked my jingle.
I did. I'm sorry about the turtleneck.
That's okay. It was blazing
was it
hot.
cold?
I don't know
It was
why
the morning. It was a little cold. I panicked. I think the turtleneck was like, I haven't worn a turtleneck in a while.
Yeah, you look like
and I got to
Anchorman.
work and it was 77 degrees. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't reference it.
I did. I think they cut it out because it was just relentless. I mocked him endlessly.
Can we get this scene done and quit making fun of Al's turtleneck?
Yeah, I got it. It was a rough one. Yeah, I didn't have a lot to fight back with because I was wearing the turtleneck.
He was being held back by his lame number one.
It's tough to fight back in a turtleneck.
It is, because you know you look
It is.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's cozy in there.
Exactly.
All right, guys. If you're leaving us now, here's what's coming up on Facebook. Watch this.
Kylie Jenner puts Alex Rodriguez on blast. We'll tell you what's behind this new Twitter feud. Then, here comes the bride and her 34 bridesmaids, but you won't believe how many she originally wanted. And from Dirty Dancing to Titanic to The Lion King, movies that are full of glaring plot holes. The biggest offenders when DBL comes back.
Nation, I have a story involving Meek Mill and him moving up in life. He just announced he is the part owner of Lids. So he's grown his portfolio. He is now a corporate co-owner, and he gave an exclusive interview today which detailed his partnership. Now, if you don't know what Lids is, it's a sports apparel brand. And he says he enacted his plan, and he kind of was inspired by Jay-Z. The two are close, if you didn't know, and I always love seeing artists do this, like go outside of their music brand and kind of build an empire on themselves. DBL Nation, are you a small business owner? I would like to give you a shout out, so let me know what you own, what you do, and I will try to get to it next break. Talk to you later. Bye.
This is Daily Blast Live. We are talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We're live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. Let's get to it, guys. A-Rod is getting called out online for what he had to say in an interview with Sports Illustrated. The former baseball star told the publication that while sitting with Kylie Jenner at the Met Gala, all she talked about was her Instagram, her lipstick, and how rich she is. But now Kylie says, you know what, that's not true, A-Rod. She tweeted, quote, no, I didn't. We only spoke about Game of Thrones. And now A-Rod has responded saying, OMG, that's right, Kylie Jenner. It was me talking about you and your makeup line and how much my girls love you. Hashtag GOT, hashtag respect, hashtag all love.
Hashtag Crown Royal doubles. This is a drunken conversation and a misrecalling.
That's Al's excuse for everything.
Yeah.
Well, they were
alcohol.
Erica, am I way off base?
I don't think you're necessarily off base,
Right.
but we know the history of A-Rod, and A-Rod was a great baseball player, not necessarily a great orator. No one's ever been like, I was going to say that, but A-Rod said it better.
Yeah.
And that tweet was absolutely his daughters being like, Dad, you messed up a relationship with Kylie Jenner and Liza Emma!
I mean, J-Lo.
You're exactly right, though.
With the Kardashians, too. So she was like, fix this right now. Read the rest of the article. He says, yeah, we had a great table. The black guy from The Wire was there. That's Idris Elba. Some famous singer was next to me. I think it was Versace, Donatella. We had Kylie and Kendall and some guy from the Rich Asians. Cool, A-Rod. Way to know anything about, like, the pop culture group you live in. Like, he should know those things, don't you think?
Should he? He's a baseball player. He's a baseball analyst. If you were sitting at the table with all baseball players, or J-Lo was, would she be able to name all of them?
If I'm dating a super famous baseball player, I would think I'd know a little bit about
Why
it.
You're dating a guy from Chicago. Could you name some people from the 85 Bears?
Yes, I can. The Shuffle.
Exactly my point.
You couldn't even get Walter Payton out?
I said Peyton and Peyton. Walter Payton.
Who was their coach? Come on.
It was clearly Moon Man. Ditka.
Yeah,
Ditka.
come on. Someone got your ear.
Definitely.
You knew that one.
Ditka, of course I knew Ditka.
You knew Mike
Dubbers. No, I didn't. Someone told me about your.
Your father-in-law is a famous sportscaster in Chicago.
I know, I froze.
You're proving my point.
No, I'm just saying if you're at that gala, don't say it into a magazine in an article that you don't know any of those people. The black guy from The Wire, he's a famous guy.
I think we just debunked that.
All right, let's move on, Ditka.
A bride from New Orleans is going viral for having 34 bridesmaids. She says it's because she has 6 sisters, she comes from a big family, and has met so many people over the course of her singing career. All right. Her husband did tell her to cut down the list of bridesmaids. She originally had 50 and cut it down to 34. This is a little crazy for me.
I don't like it.
A little? I mean, 6. You have 6 sisters. 6 is the answer.
Yeah, so I had to learn the hard way. So maybe her next wedding, or no, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. I really.
I know.
I'm not. No, that's something that you like learn. So my first wedding, I had 6 bridesmaids. One of them was my sister, and only one of them I'm not really in communication with anymore, and the other ones I speak to probably quarterly, which is a pretty good track record.
You do your taxes.
Yeah, stop. But when I got married 3 years ago, I decided just to have my sister, and we only had siblings. Because realistically, how many relationships in your adult life are you able to hold on to?
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of those relationships are reason, season, lifetime. But she's the bride. She should have what she wants for a wedding. Good for her that she had that many people who were willing to go to a destination wedding and stand up for her.
Willing to go to an island. Wow, great friends.
But destination wedding, I mean, you know, going to someone else's choosing on your dime and then being in a wedding and being on someone else's schedule, that means that you're sacrificing something.
I think it dilutes it. Honestly, I feel what you're saying. I just think it just makes it less special. The more people that are there, it'd be like if you got an award and you showed up and there were 49 other people, they got the exact same medal as you. I mean, I just think that the people, for me, the people that I would have as my groomsmen would be the same guys, not to be morbid, that would carry my casket. Like, I want you to be that close to me. Like, you were my brother. I will take care of your family and vice versa. 50 people, I really don't know if I could just name 50 people right now.
I don't know 34 people even, or have 34 friends.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of friends.
Just have them sit in the audience.
There's like
you got the whole
70
audience on the risers.
But 34 friends that you could call enough, yeah.
Yeah, but how about this? Well, look at what she did to herself. So if those friends are going to repay the favor, you have to stand up to 34 more weddings.
That's true.
Nobody thought about that. You're having a good time now. Wait till you're flying all over the country 34 times to stand up for your friend's wedding.
Yeah, not on the beach.
Well, it does look like a beautiful wedding.
It doesn't. Not so tough.
We probably would have went if we were invited. All right. Now we have an explanation for a mysterious fish found in Lake Michigan. A man has come forward saying he attached his wedding ring to a fish because the ring is supposedly cursed. Safe to say that marriage did not work out. Now another man
Maybe
who
because
caught
of the lack of diamonds.
It's a man's ring.
It's a man's ring.
Oh, I thought that was hers.
Now another man who caught this fish says his boat has been having engine problems ever since he encountered the ring. So what happened was the Chicago Sun-Times did a report on this, and then he got to the bottom of where the guy's like, hey, I'm the one who put that ring on there, and that's how this whole story came about.
And it happened in Michigan. Fishigan.
You went to Michigan.
I know, I wrote Fishigan down. That was all I had for this.
Oh my God.
You wrote for a joke?
Yeah.
How many states surround Lake Michigan?
3.
I don't know the answer. Maybe 4.
I was gonna say 3 or 4.
Maybe someone could get on that.
I mean, I do believe in cursed items because I think it's self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think it's cursed, then it's always going to be cursed. Just sage the boat, sage it well, let the ring go. I think, you know, it'll just move on.
Just getting this in, breaking news. I was right, 4.
There we go.
That was really aggressive, though, for him to put that ring on that fish. Like, that fish didn't ask for that, and that explains the reason why his wife left him.
Oh.
I'm assuming she left because if I was married to something like that, I would leave.
Oh, yeah, she gone. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. You believe in superstition, Al?
Not at all. I don't believe in anything.
You're a science
I know
teacher,
you guys
that's why.
believe in
I don't believe
ghosts and spirits. I think that's amazing to me. I don't believe anything. I don't believe in anything.
You're an atheist.
You don't believe that there is a power greater than you.
I would, if there is, I would hope I can't understand it. I would be that up there. I don't think God is like a dude just chilling on a cloud.
But do you think there's another energy out there or something that is maybe there are
streaming
curses?
television? It's going through us right now. Yes, there's
I'm gonna call B to the S on that one.
How?
How do you explain this blessed life?
What?
Somebody's looking out for you. Somebody is looking out for you.
Are you?
And it might
You
be
better
a
say
dude
thank you.
on a cloud.
All right, I like that. That was a good callback.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't look at me. The whole room was silent.
Crippling silence.
It's always that way.
strange.
Just
It's a talent. That was talented.
See? You see what just happened?
Oh,
you see what just happened, Al?
That was something from above.
That's it. Erica Cobb out. That's right. Your spirit. Your
Because
spirit.
gravity took place?
Yep. She's out. They're trying to tell you, Al. They're trying to tell you.
I think we have another story.
I'll come back.
She's
Sorry.
gonna come back.
Unless the spirit was going to take your chair. It could have moved on.
It might
have.
Crazy.
All right. Al, think about it, buddy. Think
on,
about
man.
it.
How do we know that wasn't staged?
Did you guys not get over on purpose?
Well, usually when people are part of a conspiracy, they don't admit to it as soon as you ask them.
A conspiracy?
Yes, you
Let
might
me
have
drop
had
the
that
card.
plan.
We're live.
I know, but
We don't know where the
You might have called him at like 2
conversation's
o'clock this morning and said, if it goes there, be ready.
You think I was thinking about you at 2 o'clock in the morning?
I think everybody's thinking about me at all times. That's how life works.
All right, you know what America's thinking about? This next story. Ooh, I like it.
Ooh.
I thought that was for the story.
Me too.
All right, even if you're not a fan of America's Got Talent, you'll appreciate what happened on last night's show. Ben Trigger, who's an Australian travel agent, performed a dance routine for the judges. He said he had some hardships and hopes this could be his second chance. Let's watch.
Good dancer.
He even accidentally gave himself the golden buzzer right there, but he did move on to the next round. The golden buzzer didn't count, obviously, but hey, that was entertaining.
I think he knew what he was doing there, and I thought
I think he did that on purpose.
His dance moves were not half bad. I know they were funny with the nipple tassels, maybe, but I thought that wasn't half bad.
What is he doing for his next act, though?
I don't know, but it's definitely gonna have a mean pot of beret. Did you see that?
Yes, but can I just say this? And like, I rarely get
That was
serious,
pretty
but
good.
like looking at that, honestly, I have to imagine that probably middle school and high school were not easy for that young man. But you know what? After people mess with you and call you fat or call you whatever, after a while you get just tempered in steel, and then you can go out on and do a performance like that with that kind of confidence, because after a while you mess with somebody so long, their confidence gets so high. It's like, I'm going to America's Got Talent in my underwear and I'm going to kill it, and he did.
He did.
So that's what's up.
Oh,
Shout out to
Al,
Ben.
You
That
do
was-
believe in something. Good.
The power of bullying.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
He beat up that kid. One day he'll be on America's Got Talent.
My seminars are not selling me.
No one's buying me.
Coming up on DBL, it's all about damage control on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after a major accusation. We got all the drama in Reality Roundup. And the internet is on fire with the biggest plot holes in your favorite movies. Al's got a lot to say about this.
I do.
From the legal, it says illegal, but listen, we have breaking news. It's not. Age difference in Dirty Dancing to infamous floating wooden door in Titanic. Why wouldn't Rose just move on
Move over, Rose.
We got all those stories. You're going to want to hear them next.
Best
T said it was illegal. We're going to do this story about debunking, or not debunking, about whole plot holes in movies, and it said illegal, but you're going to find out when you continue watching that the age was 17, but the consent age to get married is 16 in the state of New York.
That's the one thing that I always tell people is like we call ourselves the United States of America, but states are so different in terms of like marriage,
Texas,
speed limits, gun laws.
Texas is kind of its
someplace
own.
you could just carry a gun into a CVS on your side like Clint Eastwood. Like in other
Yeah.
places, I mean, just having like Manhattan, New York City. I mean, you think about in Manhattan, Plaxico Burress, who caught the game-winning Super Bowl for New York, caught it and shot himself.
Yeah.
And went to Rikers or Leavenworth.
They're super
for
strict
2
on
years
guns in New York.
And meanwhile, in Texas, you could just like, hey, we won the game, just shoot it up. It's just so every state is super different,
Yeah.
including like the consent.
Think about
laws.
like Montana or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could carry in Montana. I don't know.
Dude, you
exactly
could, like Montana's the only place where like you're driving and you see speed limits say 85 or 90 miles. You just never see a 90.
Yeah, because it's not
on there.
populated,
Yeah, there's
you
no.
know?
It's just a straightaway. They're like get through here as quickly as possible.
Yeah, like Idaho, it's like all those states up there. It's like they're not populated. That's also I think you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
How do we
what
get
do they
onto
call
this
that? Big
conversation?
Sky Country.
Yeah.
Which I like it up there. I did a show in Boise 2 months ago. Had a great time up there. Boise's fun. Montana's beautiful.
Do you do shows in Boise?
Yeah, I do the it's called Liquid Comedy Club.
Is everybody just a Boise State fan up there?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture. I went on the field, and
Ooh.
yeah, it's really cool.
The blue AstroTurf.
Yes, I went on the field in Boise, but Boise's fun. It's super clean. Boise is like Denver's like super square, super religious cousin.
Really?
It's just clean. It's like Denver, but it's super clean. Like eat off the sidewalk.
Welcome back to DBL. Not all great movies make total sense. We usually suspend realistic expectations for the sake of the film, and Twitter users are calling them out. There had to be an easier way to say it. We're exposing plot holes in some of our favorite movies.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we'll just start with that. All right, first up, fans of Titanic are still not convinced that both Jack and Rose could fit on that door. The ship finally went under?
After the ship finally.
Oh, there we go.
I feel like Jeff is just finding out the end of Titanic. That ship sank?
Didn't make it? Wait, what? He said he'd
Jeff, you should have said spoiler alert.
So if you guys don't know,
I don't know why I'm so checked out.
You're on vacation mode already.
No, I did that last week.
I know, you're always
All right,
on vacation.
Come on, give us your theory.
Here's a picture that went viral of a science fair, and these kids showed how many ways they could actually fit on the door. In the bottom left, they're actually playing cards. They're so bored they could fit. Mythbusters also did a take on this, and scientifically, if you take Rose's life jacket and strap it to the bottom of the door, it would have floated with two people.
They didn't know that then. They didn't even have soap yet.
They had soap.
It wasn't antibacterial. They knew nothing. It was 1930.
Move over. At least try. He says, I'll hold you forever, Rose, and then she doesn't even move over.
So I find this interesting that this was the most perplexing part of that movie.
Very much.
Especially since the scene before, she wades through water while the lights are flickering, never gets electrocuted, the cleanest water I've ever seen, to get to Jack, who's handcuffed to the pipe, and takes a random axe and hits the handcuffs square so they break.
Totally believable.
She's never used an axe in her life. Jack should be missing a hand.
Dude, I'm with you. I hate movies where they just like, oh my God, you're locked up, or there's a safe, and they just find something, they hit it, and it comes off.
Yeah, that
I
was
don't
a
like
little
that. I don't
silly.
like
You're
that.
right.
All right, good point, Erica.
Yeah, good
Cobb.
point.
Thanks.
All right, good diagram you had too.
Thanks.
I don't know where you found that. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a classic movie, but Charlie's mom works around the clock to keep the house clean while the grandparents are bedridden. And then suddenly, Grandpa Joe is fully capable of walking. He starts dancing.
Yeah, you give him a piece of chocolate, he's fine.
It was
She's
magic
like,
chocolate.
here's some cabbage soup, I'm exhausted. Get out of bed.
Well, it worked for Betty White in the Snickers commercial.
We don't know what was in that chocolate, depending on what's legal and what state.
Dude, he was fully doing like a Charleston there. You were bedridden for 20 years. You could have walked the whole time.
Probably
That's
equal
what I
parts
would do. I would
CBD
fake
and
like I
THC.
couldn't walk, just be weighted on hand and foot.
Ew, in bed with
you
3 other.
wouldn't.
Oh, no.
All right, how about this one? We all love Dirty Dancing, but Patrick Swayze's character has an intimate relationship with Baby, who's only 17. Now, this was filmed in New York, which we just found out, or I knew it was filmed in upstate New York, but the legal age is 16 in New York. So this wasn't illegal.
No, it's not illegal. It's just super, super creepy.
Oh yeah, definitely weird, but it's not a plot hole.
No, but nobody puts Baby in the corner. It's a little weird when you're calling Baby and you're 30, right?
But it's legal.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's right.
Jeff, that's never a good opening sentence to your love.
But no,
I met this girl named Jordan. It's legal. Like,
Listen, I don't know the age difference. I'm not defending that. But we're talking about plot holes, and that was not a plot hole.
That's true. He's got a.
All right.
Maybe this plot hole segment has a plot hole.
Oh, there's a plot hole in our
No,
segment.
That's it.
All right. Maybe we should use your dress and highlight
Can we get
that.
Tori's diagram again? Oh, we have no more time,
No,
Tori. Sorry.
too bad.
We'll be right back.
Hal
The
said use
sun
Tori.
used to make our outdoor patio.
I just broke it.
Oh my
The
goodness.
paper clips.
I save them a little bit. Are we on? All right, so I just saw one
Pink
that-
dress.
Hey, someone just wrote salmon dress. That's all they wrote. Driving blindfolded. She doesn't care. All right, someone wrote in Singing Mary. What's up? Jeff, I totally get what you mean about potato chips. They are my biggest nemesis. I get so mad when my husband because he keeps buying them. I get mad too. I can't have things in the house.
I generally don't have things in the house, but recently I've decided to have things in the house.
But does like Anthony get mad? Do you guys get mad at each other? Like, oh, don't buy that, but then you just eat it all?
Yes. Like if we're like doing really good on like eating clean and stuff, but we generally don't have a lot. Actually, we had someone who used to think like you keep
Having stuff in
junk
your
in the
house.
house. So one of our former coworkers came over and went in the pantry, and she was like really upset that we didn't have any good snacks, so she did a whole story on it. Like, how do you have a pantry?
Welcome back to DBL. Erica and Tori are joined by our own Sam Shocker to talk about the best moments from what? Reality TV. You guys know what time it's for. It's time for
First up, on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, things heat up when Camille claims Dorit's husband owes her friends a lot of money. Ooh, check it out.
Your husband owes out a lot of money to somebody very, very close to me. And I was just like, wow, where does she get all this fancy cars?
Oh, please. PK doesn't owe any of your friends any money, sweetheart. After tonight, I'm done.
Ooh, that's quite the accusation.
Okay, first of all, I believe that the friend are the Vanderpumps.
I think so
or
too.
Lisa
I think
Vanderpump.
so too.
And I think
so
that's
too.
the whole thing. That's the way she's like throwing it out there. And also, I don't like this version of Camille. I was feeling really bad for her because she lost her home. And after this episode, when she was talking about like she had to settle for a 40-year-old Burberry coat and like all this stuff, I have no empathy for her.
I agree.
And on top of it, you remember the first time we met Camille? She was in a really bad situation because Kelsey had another woman,
AKA
and then
Frasier.
she was really, she was like a witch, you know? And I'm saying that to be nice. She was a witch. Hurt people. Her house breaks down or burns down, and then all of a sudden she's spilling people's business out there. It's not okay, Camille. It's not okay. Stay away from the husbands because you and your new husband will have to square up, and you better be ready to square. That's not right.
Mic drop. No, we got nothing more to say. That was fantastic, Erica. Let's get to this next one. Next up on Bridezilla's, Lessica has a vision for her bridesmaids to perform the perfect wedding dance, but her friends don't really care. Check it out.
I am going viral. And this is what you guys want to go viral for is, oh my God, can't dance.
Nobody cares about going viral. I mean, we're 30-some years old. We don't care about YouTube.
My favorite moment is when the beach girl goes like this.
But amen.
Absolutely, who cares?
Amen.
Absolutely.
I'm 37 years old. Who cares about YouTube going viral? Can we please just have a good time at your wedding, please?
I think I agree.
I care about YouTube.
You do?
Yeah, we're on live.
Yeah, we care about it here on the show, but would you care as a bride?
Oh, no. But I do care.
Yeah, we do love you. And finally, on Kate Plus Date, that reality star, the reality star from John and Kate Plus Date, jumps back into the dating world. So will sparks fly? Well, gotta wait and see.
Do you drink wine ever?
Not too often.
I don't know if it looked painful, but I was aware that it felt so painful.
I just felt like that's where the date was, getting to know someone, and it just silence is part of that, and I don't think it affected the date either way.
When you can hear the ice crinkling as you suck up the liquid, you know it's a bad date. That's a really bad sign. I used to be a big Kate fan.
Really?
Huge.
Really?
I
A lot of people are fascinated by her. I don't get it. What's so fascinating about her?
So when she first started, she was on Oprah and she showed her skin and she was very real for a time in the period when we weren't that real. And then it got to be, oh no, you're just a crazy mother. And now it's like I stay far, far away from her. And I feel like she doesn't do well with her kids. I really do.
Really?
Yeah. I worry about them.
I don't think Kate's great without her 8.
She can't carry the show without them kids.
Checkmate.
Okay. That was good. This has been Reality Roundup. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here and I have your review of Toy Story 4. So to start off with, it's a Pixar movie, so you're going to cry. Bring some tissues, don't be like me and be awkwardly like kind of using your sleeves and trying to hide. It's a sad movie, it's heartbreaking, and I want you to know that up front, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful and funny. There's that sense of nostalgia with Woody and Buzz Lightyear and all the characters you've gotten to know, but there are some new fun characters. I gotta give a shout out to Keanu Reeves for his Evel Knievel inspired guy, Duke Kaboom, and Forky, which I never knew I could fall in love with a spork, but I have. I'm never gonna eat a salad the same after this. Anyway, the plot is fun and it's an adventure and your kids will enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. If you've seen the other Toy Stories, you'll have some Easter eggs to look forward to. And overall, it's a fun time, but again, it is very sad. It does deal with some tough subjects, but in the end, I think you're gonna leave the movie satisfied. Right now, it has a 99% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which makes it near perfect. I kind of agree with it. There are points where it was like a little slower than I'd like it to be. So, do you wanna see it in theaters or do you wanna wait to watch it at home? I actually am indifferent. It's gonna be enjoyable either way. If you're a big fan of the Toy Story franchise, definitely go check it out now. But if you want to wait, you're not going to miss out on this big plot. Like if this was an Avengers movie, I'd say you have to see it in theaters or you're going to miss out on what everyone's talking about. But this one is a fun movie that you can enjoy with your family. Now, if your kids are seeing it for the first time and have never seen a Toy Story movie before, I don't think they'll feel lost. I think they'll feel like they fit right in and they'll like the characters and they'll like Woody. Even though I learned in this movie, he is quite old. Just wait for that scene and you'll find out there is a lot of action that takes place in an antique shop. So DBL Nation, let us know what you think of the movie using the hashtag DBLTake, and I'll see you in infinity and beyond. See ya.
Welcome back to DBL. A new sport may be headed to the Olympics. Breakdancing is another head slide closer to making its Olympic debut in Paris in 2024. The IOC committee voted in favor of it, including it in the Summer Games.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's amazing. And I also think that we've seen enough rhythmic gymnastics and trampolining that this could modernize the Olympics in a way. It's a global dance form. I'm so excited.
How excited are we that the show's almost over?
So excited that she said global.
You said global. I
can do anything.
You missed Al. Screw up the T's.
Oh, you did.
That was bad. It was a doozy today. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.